Hi, guys.
I would like to point out that was a totally different gesture than you promised.
we were promised a gesture like this, and we got a gesture like this.
Which is nice. That's a very, very welcoming to the stream.
I'm done with this world.
What gesture do you want?
I mean, I'm fine with anything. Just don't tell me one thing and give me a totally different gesture.
Isn't it supposed to be like a this? Isn't that it?
We got like a hug.
It made me feel comfortable. I can tell you that.
Yeah, no, it was soothing. It was soothing. Yeah, I like it.
All right, so you guys, welcome to this is YouTube Live at E3 with Rooster Teeth. This is day one of actual E3, but we're before we get to that, there is one final press conference left that we're going to take a look at, and that is going to be Nintendo.
I'm so happy that they scheduled it so early in the morning ahead of the first day. I mean, I was not.
I wanted to be up right now.
I was not angry when my alarm went off at 6:30 this morning.
There's nothing better than the badge pickup opening at 8. And then a press conference happening at like 8:20 all the way down the road. It's wonderful. It's a great way to start the day.
The logistics work out for everyone.
So what? Okay, their press conference starts at 9 o'clock here, so it must be the perfect time of day for a press conference somewhere.
Well, it's also worth noting that Nintendo, they don't do press conferences the way the other publishers and platforms do. They haven't rented out a theater somewhere. No, it's not nearly whimsical enough. There aren't enough white walls.
When the press conference starts in about 23 minutes, it will be 1 a.m. in Tokyo.
That's the worst.
I thought maybe it was like middle of the day in Tokyo, and that's why they were doing it.
So they're just going to be super wired is what's going to happen.
I mean, having been to Tokyo recently, there are people lined up in the streets to look at someone watch the trailer. That place is insane for Nintendo.
Yeah, Tokyo's where there were lines for PlayStation VR as well, like 6 months after launch.
In Tokyo, there are lines for everything. They love queuing up.
There's lines for lines.
They really do.
They really are.
It's the Austin of the East.
It is. That's what they call it.
Yeah, that's what Tokyo
Austin
means in Japanese.
What's up, Bernie?
Austin
Can I ask a
Tokyo
question?
means barbecue.
For all the Nintendo experts in the room. So I would not consider myself someone who follows Nintendo religiously. Didn't they just have an event just like 2 weeks ago where they didn't announce anything at that?
Not even. They had They had a Nintendo Direct for Pokemon in which they failed to announce the only Pokemon game anyone wanted.
Wow, they gave you some other ones.
Yeah,
they did.
They
It's
Nintendo'd you.
Well, it's kind of like Rooster Teeth. We keep trying to hire Zach Anner, and instead we end up with like Aaron Marquis and Chris Damaris and like all the people around Zach Anner. What we really want is Pokemon Stars, and what we got was like everything.
We got Aaron Marquis.
But this is what Nintendo does. I mean, this is what every company does. It's the old string along, right? So they have a Nintendo Direct. It's Pokemon themed. It's not too far out from E3, and you don't see the one thing you want to see. So what are you going to do? You're going to wake up early in the morning and you're going to watch the Nintendo press conference and be like, well, this is where they're going to give me the one that I didn't see.
See, that's the dream,
ago.
But instead what everyone does is just get angry on the internet.
Sure.
I mean, the theme of this
And
E3
then
Those two things are not mutually exclusive,
call it a
Ashley.
day.
the theme of this E3 so far is just don't show me the thing that I really want to see. So
yeah.
let's see how Nintendo can disappoint me today.
I hope
Or you
Nintendo
can
bucks
see it,
that
but there
trend.
can be no date attached to it.
General, vague, future
just
times.
in general.
I want some Animal Crossing today.
That's
I want-
number
On
one.
my
Stop it, you
on my
can't
Switch.
have it.
So
Number one.
I have a dream list
I'm gonna
of
be here to just crush
3.
all your dreams
If I
now.
get
No.
one of them, I'll be happy. Animal Crossing is one of those.
Never gonna happen.
Pokemon Stars is one of those.
It's on
and
fire.
A new Metroid is the other one.
They haven't even started
That's
it.
my That's my holy trinity.
Metroid is the longest shot of the 3, I think.
I know, but that doesn't stop the wanting, Anthony.
No. Last night I was like, I think we're going to get a Metroid and 2 Earthbounds, and I'll get like a Star Tropics. We can have everything. We can have everything we want at E3.
You can have nothing.
Nothing. We're
Nothing.
going to get none of that.
And,
I do think there's a good chance of the Animal Crossing. I do think there's a solid chance that we'll see more of Pokemon. I do. Whether that will be like a huge announcement, whether we'll see a lot of information, whether we will see release dates.
They've
Well,
gotta do
I'm
something.
wearing my lucky Nintendo shirt, hoping that somehow that will have changed everything they've been planning for the last several weeks. And so they just say, let's do what Ashley wants.
Ashley wore the shirt. We gotta
do it.
make her
Right.
happy.
Like otherwise,
I mean, you got to
letting
put
everyone
something out
down.
for that console, though. You launched a console and then gave it no games.
I mean, look. I think they're doing okay. It still sells out every time it gets into a store.
It's because people buy it before they realize there's nothing to play on.
Well, but remember, we
What,
still have
you
a
mean,
couple
like,
huge
including
things
yourself,
coming.
Ryan?
Yes, including myself. Well, I wanted to play. I didn't have the previous generation, and I wanted to play Zelda.
Sure.
But there's a lot of people that brought the bought the previous generation that can play all the games you can play on the Switch right now.
Oh, you say a lot.
They're doing a great job of spacing out
their
first-party stuff, though.
They
really are.
There's a cadence there.
Well,
yeah.
Even the third-party stuff's great. We already saw Mario and Rabbids game at the Ubisoft conference.
Oh,
and that's
wait a minute. That's not something you want to say about a positive about a launch of a new console that's $300, $400. Oh, boy, they're really taking their time pacing out the delivery of those first-party.
Pacing is important, and it's something that Nintendo has historically been bad at, and that's why it's good that we are getting one of these things every quarter guaranteed for the next 3 quarters. That's bigger than Nintendo's been able to do for the last 2 generations.
Well, yes, and see, Ryan, I think what they're is like they want you to buy every single one of these games, not just take your pick from 3. So they release Breath of the Wild with the launch of the console. You've played it. Most people are now finished with it. They're through it. They are on to the next. Bam! Mario Kart 8 Deluxe comes out. Now everyone plays it because a lot of people.
Titles.
That's true, but again, the Wii U didn't
I wouldn't
have
call
the
Breath
kind
of the Wild a re-release.
That's fair.
No,
that's not a re-release.
No. A lot of people didn't buy the Wii U, so for a lot of people, it was their first introduction to Mario Kart 8. They play it, having a great time. Great, gonna be over that, and bam, we're gonna get Splatoon 2. We're gonna get ARMS, and then we get into the holiday period. We're gonna get Super Mario Odyssey.
Though I would argue that a lot of the people that picked up the Switch, because, in the limited quantities as you start rolling that new console out, are probably also the ones that were super fans that bought the previous generation too. The ones that are going to be there at the door, give me the new console immediately, are the ones that did it last time.
And they're going to be happy.
And they already played or had access to these titles.
Yeah,
but this is sustained sellout though. This isn't like the first batch completely sold out. This is like multiple runs of this console have sold out, which means it is doing a much better job than the Wii U did. This is more than just the hardcore Nintendo fans, because I do think the Switch itself, even with a few titles out, is one of the most compelling hardware designs and ideas that Nintendo has had in years.
You and I
maybe
can't share a couch.
We can share a couch.
No, it's not.
I
agree too.
That's a valid point.
I'm going to pipe in here too,
Okay,
because
here
I
we
agree.
go.
Because how can you say after what we saw this week with Microsoft?
Bernie, can you just like stay back there and just like pop
pops up.
You know what? I agree with that. I mean, after what we saw with Microsoft is we got promised, I think, last year that Scorpio was going to be revealed this year at E3, and it was going to be this whole big thing. They had Todd Howard talking about how it's the most impressive thing he's ever seen. They didn't say it was the next generation of consoles, but it certainly felt that way, the way they were presenting it. And then we got an Xbox Pro. Is what we got.
I got very much that it was the equivalent of the PS4 Pro. It's a mid-generation hardware upgrade.
Yeah,
That's
but they
the
did
impression
want to
I
make
always
it.
got from
But they
it.
did want to make it seem like more. Obviously, from a sales perspective, they wanted to make it seem like more of a generational leap than the PS4
Right,
Pro.
like PS4 Pro, but like more.
Yeah.
But not Xbox One
if
2.
if the PS4 Pro is like 1.25, they wanted the Xbox One X to be like 1.75. You know what I mean? They wanted just that much more. But it's more like with the Nintendo thing, like with the Xbox One X. One of the biggest jokes was like everybody on Twitter going, I don't know what a teraflop is. I don't know what all this stuff is. I don't know why it matters to me.
So many
I don't have a
flops.
4K TV. But the Switch, for as much as like the commercials were like a little too cutesy millennial grading, you pull those controllers out, set this thing up on a table, and you understand that. And you understand the idea of, oh, it's my TV, it's at home, but it's also like if I'm out, I can play it, but I don't just have to like plug into headphones. I can play it with friends. I don't have to buy tons and tons of controllers. I think it's a very compelling hardware design.
They showed you why you needed it.
Yeah,
and that's the thing we were
exactly.
complaining about the Xbox One X is we weren't shown why do we need this.
Or the PlayStation
Right.
Pro.
Yeah.
Right.
Which a year later is kind of like, eh.
And it's delivering the promise of something like the Vita, too, where the Vita was supposed to be like, here are the home console quality games on the road, but it was kind of a kludgy implementation of that. I'm buying games twice. It's not every game is coming out. I'm doing remote play. With the Switch, it's like very easy. It's like I buy Breath of the Wild, and now I have Breath of the Wild everywhere. And that is a huge deal for people.
Yeah, I kind of feel like, too, the Vita suffered from the PSP just because there was like the UMDs. Like that whole disc, and then people just sort of wrote their.
That's the best
their
movie
handheld
format, by the way.
proposition off.
If you can catch the UMD version of something, I mean, grab it. I'm
like
like
the
a laser
hipsters with vinyl.
Yeah, it's like a vinyl purist, but for UMD.
Digital hipsters.
He found
It's
the
just like,
unicorn of movies.
I have 4 copies of Lucky Number 11 on UMD just in case any of them get scratches in them. You know.
You know what though? Hey, what? How dare you? Lucky Number 11 is a fantastic film. So we were talking about Nintendo.
Yes.
Well, listen, but
I'd love to talk about
what? You
Lucky
can't
Number
watch it
11
on
if
your
we have a
Switch.
few minutes.
going back to what
Lucky
Anthony
number
said,
11.
though,
There you
about
go.
the launch of the Switch is, I mean, I remember the Wii in much the same way, where the Wii was sold out for a year. You couldn't get it. It was like the hot item.
People were dying for them.
And I felt at the time that Nintendo was just kind of drawing out the hardware aspect of it to build up demand. But at the end of the day, the Wii ended up being a platform that was a Wii Sports delivery mechanism, is where I think that platform ended up in history. I mean, Wii Sports is now the best-selling software title of all time, which it's hard to believe.
It's great when you give it away.
But I think the Switch has already surpassed that. I
Yeah.
think the Switch now is going from Breath of the Wild, which was an enormous hit, to Mario Kart right away. I was waiting for the period that, dip in the valley when there was no titles on the Switch. With Mario Kart 8, it's got a lot of replayability. We're not going to hit that for a while, I don't think.
Yeah, I think what Ryan's counter argument is that Mario Kart 8 already existed.
That's true.
Well, and I've already seen it die off in the people playing it. I mean, I know that is what I look at in my life as a smaller slice representative of that. But the people in our office were playing it like crazy, and now it's already dropped off.
I think that's fair. I think you can only get so much mileage out of a re-release, out of a port. But that's why the moment I started getting tired of Mario Kart, they've been very smart with like these test periods. The second I was getting tired of Mario Kart, all of a sudden the ARMS test punch was out. You know what I mean? They're just kind of like reminding me, like, oh, remember,
Something's coming.
You like the Switch.
Hey,
remember, this is cool.
Eventually, there'll be a game.
Yeah.
We swear.
And honestly, with as good as Zelda is, I'm still playing Zelda. Like, I'm still playing Zelda. So they sold more copies of Zelda than they did of the actual Switch
Which
hardware.
is insane.
Which
Which
I
is
still,
insane.
I was wondering what the hell was up with that for a long time, and we did several news updates about things like that, and saying, who are these people? And actually, a lot of people wrote in and said, I bought it just waiting for Switch to be available.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and you got to remember though, the Zelda right now on that console is like the only thing you can play by
Right.
yourself. No one wants to play Mario Kart by yourself because there's no unlocks to it. Well, there kind of is, but not like the kind that are compelling enough to keep you just solo racing. That's a social game. ARMS is going to be a social
sometimes
game.
you want to play it by yourself because that's how you can come in first. Okay.
I will say, I think the point of the console is they're really trying to push that multiplayer and that shared experience interaction.
But what about
That's
people
always
like
been,
me
like,
that
a
don't
big
like
Nintendo
other
thing, though.
people?
I'm like you. You and me, we're the same there. But I think that this console's looking to try to incorporate and take advantage of the fact that it's portable. You can share the controller. It's got online. You can play with people. So I think that's what they're trying to focus on immediately.
They've forgotten about the people that like Twix.
They'll have
two controllers for me, none
They'll have
for you.
Animal Crossing for us very soon, Ryan.
I don't give a shit about
Dude,
You
That's-
don't think
Maybe
you
I
give
will.
a shit
I'll
about
try it.
Animal
I
Crossing.
You
wanna
may
You
try
not,
don't
but that's,
know.
you're going to wake up, it's going to be a year later, and you're going to be like, I need one more couch for this golden flower set
Look,
of furniture. Just one more couch.
I have taken. This is with this generation of Nintendo. I'm taking the challenge of any exclusive title for a good window here. I'm going to try it out.
Yeah.
Because I haven't had a Nintendo since the Super Nintendo. So this is my first return to that platform. No, I take it back. I had a Wii because everybody did.
Everybody had a Wii.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably propping open a door somewhere. But so I want to experience all these games from my history of gaming. I want to see Metroid. I want to see Zelda. I want to see Mario. I want to play all those and see where they are now versus
Then why
where
are
they
you
were.
fighting us?
Because they're
Ryan?
not giving me those. They did great with Zelda. I'm very pro Zelda. Good job. Nice Zelda.
Nice Zelda. You'll remember.
Would play again.
Way to Zelda, everybody.
Way to Zelda.
It's going
We
to
did
be
it.
a huge moment in your life that you're always going to remember the first time you catch a KK slider set.
Ooh.
Oh man.
You're going to know exactly. You're going to remember that. It's
It's
going
all
to stick
gonna
with
happen.
Is that like a tiny hamburger? Or
No, that's so in Animal Crossing you get into the drug trade,
tell me more.
and
I'm in.
that's,
Now I'm in.
I didn't realize this was.
and the first. You may.
I would like to tweet about our fine program, and I was curious, what hashtag should I use to do that?
If you wish to tweet about our fun program, and I would encourage you to do so, please use the hashtag YouTubeE3. You can also use RTE3. We are checking both.
YouTube spelled out.
YouTube spelled out. So it's not YTE3, it's YouTube E3.
Got it.
We want you to really commit to the letters in your 140-character tweet.
you. Gotta make them really count. KK Slider's a traveling musician in Animal Crossing.
Wait, so you actually do?
He's a cool dog.
There's
He's like a
human
real
trafficking?
cool dog.
Okay, he's a dog.
No, he's a cool dog.
Okay,
and,
no one cares then. It's fine.
And he unlocks like sweet tunes.
So he's the shanty provider of
He
Kinda,
is.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
the
okay,
shanty
there you go.
guy. He's the shanty guy.
Cooler dog of E3 2017, assuming there's an Animal Crossing. KK Slider or Boomer, the gun
Ooh,
fetching
I
guy.
don't know. He fetches guns.
Guns versus guitars. It's like the eternal question.
Yeah, man. It's
No,
art
yeah.
versus the military.
Does your Animal Crossing dog
You
like help
hippie.
you capture other animals? Because
No.
Boomer will take out terrorists.
No, but we don't know what new functionality may be coming today.
Oh, that's right.
That's true. This could be the whole new announcement. Like KK Slider's taking over the town.
There-
You have to get it back.
With motion controls, you can play the guitar.
You know what?
Animal Crossing SVU.
After the surprise of seeing a Mario Rabbids crossover that is a turn-based strategy,
It actually looks really
they
cool.
could do anything. Okay, I'm open to this idea of Animal Crossing GTA.
I was real excited for that Mario Rabbids. I was shocked. I was shocked by how
I was
wonderful
surprised.
it looked.
Yeah.
That actually sold me on the game
Yeah.
because I love that style of game, and I have not really had any history with
And
Rabbids.
It's funny because we should not have been shocked because these sort of things have happened with Mario. Like the original Super Mario RPG was like a collab like that with Capcom, and so it's anytime they give the Mario license to the right person, something kind of magical comes out of it. But I remember those teaser images came out last week, and we were all like,
Yeah, I was.
"This is
I
gonna
was,
go one way or the other real hard."
Well, and that was probably one of my favorite moments so far of E3 was you talking about the right person having access to the franchise and the history. Was Miyamoto up there praising the developer who's getting like
Oh, he was
teary-eyed
misty?
in the audience.
Can you imagine being praised personally by Miyamoto?
Miyamoto smiled at me once, and I had to lie down for 48 hours.
The doctor told you couldn't lift anything heavy.
Yeah, just don't exert any more force. Your
right.
poor heart won't be able to take it.
All right, so we're getting pretty close to the Nintendo Spotlight Conference here, so we're going to pull that up in a few minutes. But before we do, I do want to say thank you very much to War for Planet of the Apes for sponsoring YouTube Live at E3 with Rooster Teeth. They're making this whole thing possible. You guys, you should see this studio. Last year, we were in what equates to a broom closet because we were so late in organizing the show. And this year, we actually feel like a production. There's air conditioning. We have lights.
It was a
We have
cubicle.
bagels, and that's all been made possible by War for the Planet of the
Bagels.
Apes. So thank you for the bagels.
Made from bagel.
We'll talk more about it in a little bit, but check out this trailer for the movie that hits theaters July 14th.
Who is child?
I don't know.
But she was you.
She has no one else. We are not savages. Apes fight only to survive.
Bad human kill ape. All dead now. A long time. Long time.
Bad humans.
Soldier.
Years from now, your children will ask you, what did you do in the greatest war? And you can tell them, I fought to protect this world. We created it. But now, we will bring an end to their kind.
No mercy. No peace. This is war. Apes together. Strong.
You are impressive. You're smart as hell. You're stronger than we are. But you're taking this all much too personally. So emotional!
I did not start this war. But I will finish it.
Dude, every time I see that trailer, I'm just like, what is knocking it out of the park with the effects?
There's nothing better than watching a monkey pull a pin out of a grenade. You know what I mean? Like, every time I see that, I'm just like, yeah, we did it, society.
The one that gets me is always the one in the monkey in well, it's an ape, I'm sure, in a puffer coat, getting shot at by a heavy machine gun.
What a magical time to be alive. You know what I mean?
We're experiencing this.
This is the future. This is the real future.
We're here
It's all
waiting for
downhill from
Nintendo
here.
announcements, watching monkeys throw grenades.
Whew.
That seems like
This
the
is
next
life.
Nintendo game, actually. That's Donkey Kong's next level.
I actually really liked. So we were talking a little bit before about the Mario Rabbids crossover.
Yes.
And I actually really liked the Donkey Kong Rabbid that came up as kind of a boss.
They have
Rabbit
a
Kong.
big. Did you see it? A big statue down in the
There's a giant
hall.
one in the South Hall lobby.
haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, to take it's huge that you can like take a picture under going like, oh no, it's gonna squash me. Because if there's one thing everyone at E3 loves, it's like photo ops with stuff. There's also a Ni no Kuni 2. Or no, right? All right.
I'll be back.
Yes, it's.
Let me know what
it's
Nintendo
right-
announces.
It's right in the South Hall lobby that looks like awesome. It's just like, it's honestly just like a balcony with like a painted landscape in the background. But the fact that it's Ni no Kuni 2 makes me so pumped.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. I got distracted by the rabbit thing.
Speaking of this stuff, last year, my favorite thing on the floor was when Nintendo turned their entire booth into Hyrule.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was
That
pretty
was-
spectacular. When they said they were
what did they
only
do this
really
year?
bringing Zelda to E3, I was so skeptical. Like, what are they thinking? Seriously, how can you have an entire booth around one game? And then I saw the castle. It had a day-night cycle. It had bushes
That's
and
the hot new
grass
trend in E3
and
booths
walls.
is persistent day-night cycles.
No, it's important to give you immersion.
So hot, yeah. Otherwise, you get pulled out of the whole trade show.
I mean, you're already in a building that has no natural light, so if they can just play with that some more.
Well, it makes you feel like you've been in the line that much longer.
Every
You're like,
10
how
minutes,
many,
I
how
just
many
got
days
real
have I been
sleepy.
here?
Out of curiosity, do you think they're going to talk much about 3DS this time? They recently did a 3DS Nintendo Direct that was really announcing a whole bunch of titles saying, we're still supporting you, 3DS. Still going to be games. Don't leave us.
This feels like contractual obligation, the Nintendo Direct. You know what I mean? Like, they don't want to say that they're abandoning the 3DS, and they're not going to abandon the 3DS. They have another year of support guaranteed. But
Wait, which one?
all of the various
work.
ones.
So the 3DS is the kind of family that I think Xbox is trying to build, where you can come out with hardware upgrades. The old ones can still pretty much play the games. They're just not going to have the bells and whistles that the new versions do. And also the 3D on the new ones is way cooler.
I think it might be kept around as an inexpensive sort of price point for parents with kids.
Could be,
for people
yeah.
who need something that's a little more durable and,
And they
and
are
a lower
bringing the
price point.
2DS.
Yeah, and I think that'll stick around maybe for a couple years, but I think they're paying a lot of lip service to support of the 3DS and this whole kind of 3DS family. If you've got the Switch and the Switch does everything, and they can keep getting aggressive on that price point, if they can have a price point drop within the next year, you're sort of making the 3DS obsolete.
Yeah, well, I think they have a few iterations of XL and U to throw in there
Yeah.
for some hardware.
I have a question.
Hey, it's our favorite puppet, Bernie.
So, since you're talking about the 3DS, it makes me wonder. We saw them announce this Mario plus Rabbids at Ubisoft specifically, but prior to this, one of their big announcements was with a partner as well, which was Apple when they announced their mobile game, Run Mario Run. Do you think the Switch
That was it, yeah, Run Mario Run.
Is
The
the
famous
Run.
German film,
Is
Run
the-
Mario Run.
I got
He's
close. I
trying
got
to save
close.
his drug dealer boyfriend. Got to get
Luigi.
some money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what do you think that does to
KK slider.
Nintendo's mobile strategy? Does the Switch now, are they going to focus exclusively on that?
Well, I think they've said that he disappeared. That's not going to be the case. That the
He'll
Switch
take his
is not
answer off the air,
intended to replace their mobile handheld devices,
I
but it
mean,
obviously is. I think
No, the Switch is a very different category of mobile device. That is not like a casual chuck it in your pocket and walk off with it.
Yeah, I would agree. I do actually. I have it in a case and it goes in my handbag, but I have a
Unless
handbag.
Their evil. This is actually their evil plan to bring back cargo pants, which is possible.
I just want to say Run Mario Run would have been a way better title.
Oh, sure.
Would have been more people, sure.
What Mario needed was a little more like German expressionism, nihilism thrown into it, and I think that it would have done well. No, but Super Mario Run is and Miitomo and these things that they're doing are these sort of great mobile experiments, and they're sort of like, how do we take what we know works on mobile, on these like single touch devices, on these pocket devices, and turn them into Nintendo?
We're about to go.
All
I think we're less than
right,
5 seconds away from the
Look, we're
conference.
picture of ourselves.
Whoa, that's crazy. Now we're gonna find Nintendo.
These graphics are off the hook.
Man.
This is the Run Mario
This is
Run
Run
promo.
Mario Run.
Arms.
Ruh-roh.
So we are going to be talking during the conference. We'll try to not talk while trailers are going on. So we're going to have light commentary while giving our thoughts on what you see
We'll
or what
make
we
sure that you guys get all the information from the Direct. It'll be mostly our reactions, so like quick impressions of what we're finding impressive in a moment. It's all going to be really live, really real, really raw.
Look at these millennials. So many colorful millennials
So many
playing
people
their,
trying to,
playing
yeah.
their Switch.
Well, they're all going to get super in shape. Did you guys get like Wii Elbow from like Wii?
Wii Elbow?
Yeah, like from like Wii Tennis. So you could like really like telephone it in and just like whack it. But I couldn't help getting really into it. It was tennis and it was also boxing.
Well, I think that was half of the fun of it, was like the performative aspect, because you did find out within the first day that you could like lay and do this on bowling and get strikes all the time. But I did sort of get that wrist and elbow the first weekend. Yeah. I think we're having, by the way, in case people are wondering, we're having some technical issues with the Nintendo stream.
Just bringing up the spotlight, but we're working on it.
I was prepared for this day.
Oh, Ryan, you've cursed us. Ryan, you did that. You did that for Glitch Please too, and that was this.
Look,
and we ended up
the
with
shirt doesn't create the difficulties.
No.
Are you sure it doesn't?
The difficulties created the shirt.
This is a
was very
famous
Zen
chicken
of
and
you.
It's
egg.
very circular. Everything is loops around, like a millennial that was standing in front of a car. That's what we know about this so far.
With smoke,
With smoke, colored smoke.
colored smoke. I'm into it.
If they announced a new colored smoke racing game for the Switch, would you be excited?
Sure. I'm excited for everything they announced for the Switch. I'm telling you, this is like polar opposites on this couch right here.
I'm
They
kind
get-
of liking it.
Yeah, okay, there
They
was
ca-
communication issue, and you thought I hated Woody Harrelson, but I don't.
I am so sorry. I'm so sorry
mean,
that I put
come
that
on.
on you.
It's like
I
he's a
apologize.
He's a national treasure.
He
It's
really
the
is.
odd
He really
couple.
is.
I just want to start singing the song.
No, but I'm one of those people where now every time I play something on another platform, I go, ooh, I wish this was also on the Switch.
Really?
I wish I was bringing this
Me
with.
too.
I was like, man, I wish I could see this at lower resolution with longer load
It's
times.
not that. It's a lot of games are like, I wish I could just take this with me wherever.
You're
It's
holding
weird-
a laptop.
It's weird to be playing a Persona that is not like on the plane or in my bag with
God,
me.
Persona-
like P4 and P5.
You couldn't
There are a
play
few
that
things
game on
I
the
want
Switch.
more than
It
Persona
couldn't
5
do
on
it.
the Switch. Why? What do you mean you couldn't play for Persona 5 on the Switch?
Oh, please.
It's technically capable
Where would you
of that.
put it on a Switch? How many additional memory cards would you have to put in a Switch to play that game?
I mean, you do what you do with every Nintendo console. You buy your big ass SD card and you forget about it.
Set it and forget it.
For shame.
I got the biggest SD card in my Switch, dude.
I bet you do.
And
How
I-
much extra was that?
I don't know. It was like $100, something like that.
All right, so what's your
It's
what's
not.
your final
it wasn't like a
console
Vita.
price?
It wasn't like a Vita where it was like.
What's your final console price right now? This is like when the people are like, I came out of college and now my brain is worth $500,000.
Oh, I get all the plastic tchotchkes, man. I got the
Oh,
Pro
no.
controller.
Oh,
I got
yeah, same here.
I got an extra set of the Joy-Cons, and I'm probably gonna get a third one now that I know that I can get them in that yellow and that gold.
You like the yellow?
I do.
I'm kind of waiting for them to come in non-neon colors. I know.
Oh, that's why I went with gray.
Yeah, the gray is what I have right now. I'm hoping that they'll eventually come out with. You probably don't remember this, but you might. The 3DS that came out, that was the Animal Crossing 3DS XL that had like
Oh,
the
yeah,
little
yeah.
icons on it. I'm hoping they end up doing stuff like that with Joy-Cons as well.
They're gonna also do it with Switches. You're gonna buy a new Switch.
Well, no, but the Switch is just like a base unit. It's mostly screen.
Yeah.
So the Joy-Cons are what
the
will make
backside
that
and the
really
dock.
unique.
They announced.
Eh,
Yeah,
I
they
can put
announced
I
like
can
a
put
special
sticker
edition
on the back. I don't care about that.
for something. Oh, it was the Monster Hunter. They announced a Monster Hunter Switch in Japan, and that's what it was. It's like an applique on the dock, and like different colored.
But it's like I don't
Joy-Cons.
care about the dock.
Yeah,
I
well,
will-
The
I
Wii U was
will-
like that too. When the Wii U came out, they were like, "Oh, get this Wind Waker Wii U," and Wind Waker is like my favorite Zelda of all time at that point. So I was like, I should get it. And then I looked at it and I was like, oh, it's just an applique on the tablet.
Yeah.
All right, we've got the direct up here. Here
Great.
we go.
I'll take you there myself.
And anything that we missed.
Starting on a strong note with green explosions.
First title. Okay, so this is the first.
Pyra! Here! Cover me! Got it! We'll show you. We'll show you what me and Pyra are made of.
I am thinking now, though, I need to add a fourth game to my wish list, and that is Persona on Switch.
Now that you have come this far, there can be no turning back. You and that sword can't be! I'm guessing your goal is Elysium.
He calls Pyra. Her flames hide something deeper.
What's the matter? Are you the Aegis, or aren't you?
I won't use that power, and I won't let you use it either!
If you know what you desire, you will have to show it. Not with words, but with your own strength. Everyone, let's go!
Yeah! Wow, that really hit every JRPG checkbox right
It's
there.
so good, though. Hit it so good.
Shit.
Hey, Anthony checking in
Did
from
it
the other
not?
side of the couch. Ooh, that looked good.
I did made no judgment call about that. I'm just saying it hit
A
every
sword
trope.
fire wielding, stone cold hero with an insatiable appetite.
Kirby! Yeah! Kirby!
Marshmallow Man.
He's just loving people.
Yeah, he is! Oh, beautiful ball boy.
Look at your giddy.
Look at it!
Going.
They're together as friends.
It's too many apples.
That's a lot of apples.
That would not keep a doctor away.
Ready. So ready.
I know. I'm down for that. That looks like a kind of game my kid and I could play.
Hi everyone, I'm Shinya Takahashi from Nintendo. I hope you've been enjoying the journey with Nintendo Switch so far. When I found out that Nintendo Switch is being accepted by video game fans from all over the world as a home console that could be taken with you anywhere, I felt so relieved. Take Switch outside,
Wow.
come together, and
to know.
share
It's just
the
a moment of
experience.
realness.
This idea was how we hoped people would play with Nintendo Switch. But people are coming up with many creative ways to play, in all kinds of
When we were like,
places,
what was gonna happen
in
to
many
this
more
family
ways
if it
than we expected. This summer, Nintendo and its third-party partners will release many multiplayer games that can be played anytime, anywhere, and with anyone. We hope there will be many heated competitions that will be ignited by Nintendo Switch.
We enjoy destroying
Now,
our
we'll
friendships.
continue our look at even more new game worlds for
Hate your
Nintendo
friends,
Switch.
You will.
But before we do, there is one announcement we'd like to share from our very special friend. Please take a look.
Hi everyone.
Uh-oh.
I'm Tsunekazu Ishihara from the Pokemon Company. Just the other day, we
motherfucker,
announced
you
that
give me some
Pokken
good.
Tournament Deluxe is coming to Nintendo Switch. This is the latest version of the premier Pokemon fighting game. Two people can dive right into battle using two Joy-Con controllers. So you can experience heated Pokemon battles with just one Nintendo Switch console. There are some fresh additions, including new Pokemon, and this deluxe version of the game will be on display at E3 for attendees to play. I have one more announcement. Game Freak has begun developing a core RPG Pokemon title on Nintendo Switch.
Yes.
It may not release for more than a year,
That's
but we hope
fine.
you'll look forward to it all the same.
I thank you. I'll take it, sir.
In the meantime, let's enjoy this year's E3.
Ishihara-san, thank you very much.
Look,
We
that
heard
was
that the
what I
Pokemon
wanted.
series
It's just
is being
confirmation
developed
they
for
are
Nintendo
going to
Switch.
do it.
Of course they.
What kind of Pokemon game will we be able to play on Nintendo Switch? I'm looking forward to it myself.
You say, of course.
At
but
this
we didn't
year's
get a Metroid
E3,
last
we're
generation,
mostly
you know what I
showing
mean?
games that will be released in 2017.
Yeah, that's true.
But please know that here at Nintendo, we're working on many forms of entertainment that can only be made possible on Nintendo Switch. We hope you'll look forward to them as well. Now let's continue on with the journey with Nintendo Switch.
The background is so sweet.
I really do like their little.
Okay, I'm down.
There it is.
I'm down for this. Give it to me. Bring me my childhood.
Oh my God!
Oh no! Kiss of death at the bottom.
So far, they've rendered the 4, and it's a start, and they're going.
They got a logo. The logo treatment is done.
The logo is the hardest part of any video game.
It really sets the tone.
Look, it exists. I feel the way Ashley does. It exists.
They're acknowledging it. That is step one.
It is going to exist.
Oh. Paper Mario? Paper Yoshi.
I mean, does that look like Mario to you, Ryan?
Look, Yoshi is an
God, keep it
integral Mario
straight, okay?
character. You know where I'm coming from. Is he throwing children at people?
Yes. Yes, of course he is. He's Yoshi.
He's going to breakfast.
I loved
What
Woolly
do you
World
have
so
behind
much.
you?
There's the co-op integration. Yes. You get no eggs as a co-op partner. Nope, maybe you do.
You definitely do. Woolly World was so much fun, you guys. And I feel like not enough people played it.
This is their time. This is time to shine.
It's just called Yoshi?
Just that's the reboot.
At least it's not called Yoshi 1.
X.
Well, okay. Oh.
Team Ninja, huh?
Okay.
Huh?
Sacred Dragon, much better than Scared Dragon.
We're under attack!
Mother's in danger! If she's up there, then...
You two must keep going.
No, I'm coming with you!
It's not a competition, you two. You don't both have to. You both saw your mother get taken away.
I love her more.
Oh!
I am Marth, the Prince of Altea. We've come here to save you.
Remember that you can rely on your friends. We're with you.
Get it together, you two. If you can't do this, who can? You fought your way this far. There's nothing you two can't do. No matter the danger, we can overcome it if we're working together.
All right, let's move out.
Working together, we can finish this.
I love the amount of friendship in a Nintendo conference.
It's the Fire Emblem. There you go.
Oh man.
Well, it's Fire Emblem Warriors, which has already been announced.
Yep.
But it's nice to see it. It's nice to know how much they love their mom.
Hi there, I'm the Legend of Zelda series producer, Eiji Aonuma.
That's right, you are.
You may have already heard about it during Bethesda's showcase that was held a few days ago. It was announced that select Zelda items will appear in the Nintendo Switch version of Skyrim.
They never showed his face, though.
They didn't. It's
I'm
always
really
really
looking forward to exploring Skyrim with the Master Sword in hand.
Still, that's gonna be cool,
It's gonna
right?
look like Link's
When did this
drunk
Master
bored
Sword
dad.
get in my hand?
It is gonna be awesome
Next
though
up,
to run
we'll
around.
take a look at the DLC
in
packs
Skyrim
for The
with
Legend of
Master Sword.
Zelda.
I want to see
Breath
the
of
stats
the
on the
Wild.
Master Sword.
I want to see it shoot
Let us
lasers.
take you on a new Hyrule adventure.
They're really good, but it breaks all the time.
Yes. Tell me what I bought sight unseen.
So this is the essentially the horde mode, right? It's got all of the different rooms. You start out naked and have to pick up whatever they drop and
Naked
use
and
that
afraid.
in battle.
But at the end of that, you get a permanent Master Sword, right?
Right, that's when it stops getting tired.
Right. You appease the sword gods.
This
Excited
is
about
what
the
I'm most
pathing.
excited
I
about.
like that. That's really good for the collectors who are running around looking for all those 900 freaking Korok
Was there?
seeds. And also that one, that mask.
Was there a gimp suit in there?
Oh, I think that's the tingle.
You're thinking of the tingle
You're
suit?
thinking of the tingle suit, but yes. The answer is yes.
Okay.
But it's more complicated than that, but yes.
It's a super gimp. It's different.
Yeah, the path mode is something that I felt like was super lacking in the initial release.
Yeah, it's like you unlocked an area and great. You unlocked an area and that's really all the granularity you had.
There's no better feeling than
Alright.
getting to the point where you can consistently beat a Lionel in a fight.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
So now this is the new story. The new story content they're doing.
This dude is also my favorite character in the game.
See the face, the KK slider of Breath of the Wild.
He really is. He really is.
Remember that time you cheated on Princess Zelda? With multiple partners.
That was a wild night.
Very excited about this. The champions, I love them as characters.
They were
didn't really even show
great.
us anything, though.
Well,
They
it's
showed
holiday
us-
2017, though.
They showed us the champions.
And there's a ballad.
What did you think? I actually have one more announcement that I'd like to share.
Yes, please.
The 4 champions that appeared in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild will be available as amiibo. The Zora champion, Mipha.
Well.
The Goron champion, Daruk. The Rito champion, Rivali. And the Gerudo champion, Urbosa.
Okay,
You'll be
now
able to use these 4
do?
amiibo in The
What do they give
Legend of
us?
That's
Zelda
an interesting
Breath of the
placement
Wild.
for her stand.
That's unfortunate.
Of course,
It's
you'll be able to
unfortunate, the
use
design
these
of
in the
Urbosa,
DLC
but,
packs that you just saw, so please look forward to them.
I will own all of those.
This changes the game. Travel the world. Bring people together. Play anywhere with anyone. If video gaming is a journey, then anywhere has to include a stop right here in LA during E3. This
we just got a message
is
from
Magic
Caden.
Week,
I'm buying those. You may
where
use
booths
them.
buzz and channels glow, where the game worlds you've heard about suddenly spring into life. And this summer, a new kind of heated competition ignites right on Nintendo Switch.
Esports.
It kicks off later today with the Splatoon 2 World Inkling Invitational, which brings teams from the Americas, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, and Japan to see whose colorful skills are the best. Tomorrow, the Pokken Invitational will be held. You might recognize some of our 8 competitors who'll be duking it out in heated battles. Later on Wednesday, we'll see 8 players throw punches in the fun and competitive game ARMS, which launches later this week. 4 of our players will be pros, and the other 4 will be E3 attendees who rise to the top by battling on the show floor.
Probably just like
if you're going to E3,
pros,
we hope you'll accept the challenge. And no matter where you are, be sure to catch up with Nintendo Treehouse
versus their real parents
at
that they've never met.
E3 for all the details and news about Nintendo
prostitutes.
Switch and Nintendo 3DS. But now, there are a few more worlds left to visit on our journey before we land in the booth. Let's go.
Reggie, you like, I got my Pokemon announcement. We got our Metroid Prime announcement.
Mention.
We got we got Yoshi.
Ubisoft is proud to announce its new Rabbids game, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, and it will be developed exclusively for the Nintendo Switch. The Rabbids' crazy personalities and unpredictable behavior.
Do you know I laugh every time I see that clip?
As they arrive in
The Princess Rabbid.
When I saw the art, I thought this
would surprise
really
you
questionable,
tactical adventure,
but that sold me.
It's
on
when she
Princess
feels
Rabbid.
the actual princess's
Mario
dress to see if it's made of
and his
cheap
friends
material.
will
It's just
join
like
them
the
in an
best
epic
moment.
quest to put the kingdom back in order. We can't wait for you to play the game on August 29th.
That's not far away. That seems to be a trend this E3, if you're not Sony.
We're talking about Bethesda made a cornerstone of announcing things that were already out.
And
we got a little glimpse of that earlier in the trailer.
Yeah, it was in like an opening sizzle, but great to have this.
Ooh.
This is a spectacular title for the Switch.
Rocket League Anywhere, Joy-Con controls. That's a no-brainer. That's amazing.
Think about this. Think about Nintendo
Cross
Battle Cars.
play. Cross-network play.
On behalf of everyone here at Psyonix, we're extremely excited to announce that Rocket League is indeed coming to
Found another
Nintendo
platform
Switch.
to sell use this
We know
game
that both
again.
the Rocket League and Switch communities have wanted it, and now we're going to release it.
No complaints.
Network support that lets you play.
We will allow you to rebuy all of your car hats.
Switch
You're
version will
welcome.
have all the features and modes we've released thus far, plus exclusives like local wireless multiplayer, Mario and Luigi hats for customizing your car, and new exclusive cars we'll talk about later this year.
Look for Rocket League on Nintendo Switch this holiday.
If I don't see an
So,
F-Zero car,
cross-platform play.
Yeah.
So
At this
now,
point in the cycle, you kind of have to have it with that type.
right, but also because Xbox announced that they were ready to go cross network with PlayStation. Anytime PlayStation wanted to enable it, PlayStation didn't enable it. But now you might be able to do Xbox Switch. That's interesting.
Well, I mean, you could probably do it without. I mean, depends on who's hosting the server. It may not
Oh, sure.
necessarily have anything to do with.
Yeah! Welcome to the Sonic Adventure of Mario games. Welcome to the RoboCop 2 of Mario games. Welcome to the Batman Returns of Mario games. I'm so ready for this weird nonsense.
Is his hat alive?
Would you feel weird getting naked in front of your hat if it had
Not if we were close. Listen to this musical number, you guys.
Jump with me, grab coins with me, oh yeah! It's time to jump up in the air. Jump up, don't be scared. Jump up and you can't away. And if the dark clouds start to swirl,
Yo, this is like some Dreamcast level weirdness.
And so perfect.
Oh no!
Mario, you got weird since I played you.
Heck yeah, he did.
Oh, I love the bouquet of piranha plants.
Yes.
Last Mario title I played was Super Mario Yeah.
That's impossible.
How is that impossible?
That has to be impossible. You haven't played a Mario title since.
That is true.
I mean,
I don't know. I'm not going to call you out in the middle of the Nintendo world, the Nintendo Direct here, but like you haven't touched a Mario game since Super Mario World.
I mean, that was the newest game that I played.
I feel like you have to be aggressively
to
trying to miss Mario.
Well, I didn't have. I didn't have any of the platforms.
We have a release
10/27.
date.
Do we have a date before?
10/27 release date. We knew it was coming holiday. We didn't. That was the window. But October 27th. That's awesome.
I was 50-50 on it slipping to next year.
I was convinced it was going to slip to next year.
Well, here's the thing. I think it already did slip. We just didn't hear about it.
Are we done?
So yeah. So this is the
right.
end. That was their finale. That was all the fireworks going off at once.
No goodbye, huh?
So I think I have a theory. I want to know what you guys think of the theory. I think that Mario Odyssey already slipped once. So, and this is based off their release strategy so far with their mobile titles. In that, Pokemon Go came out. Obviously, it was licensed out, but it came out, re-energized the Pokemon fan base. Pokemon Sun and Moon comes out, breaks records. Super Mario Run hits December. Perfect timing for the Switch launch March to re-energize that fan base, get people back into it. But then we didn't get it. It slipped, and now it's falling almost a year behind that mobile launch. I think it was there. They delayed it. Also, there was a thing that came out about a lot of marketing materials for the Switch that had Mario, and then suddenly they didn't. They all had Link.
Interesting. I think it's possible. I definitely think it's possible, but I don't think it was their strategy to release a Zelda and a Mario in parallel. Like, I don't think Breath of the Wild and Odyssey would have come out at the same time. Potentially we would have seen it like maybe now, but I also think that's a little strange with the timing of like ARMS
and Splatoon 2 both coming out as this big summer titles.
It's possible that it slipped. I don't know that it slipped all that much though, if it did.
You know, there's something kind of interesting that just occurred to me about when this is, again, if you're following Mario Odyssey, that this is probably old news, but that was really one of the first titles that they showed in that was not something that was co-op focused.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing.
That's true.
Yoshi. I mean, Yoshi like
had
has
co-op.
it. No, it has it, but that doesn't necessarily make it the focus. It might mean, an as well or a. And on top of this,
Kirby and Yoshi were both of that same ilk, where it's a co-op title, really.
So you mean one where they didn't highlight the ability to co-op,
right? Which makes me, I assume there isn't any.
I wouldn't be surprised to see.
Play as the hat.
I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that, where like with Super Mario Galaxy, we had the ability to like your second controller, if you had somebody around, could like pick up star bits for you and like do little things to influence the world.
It's like helper mode.
Yeah.
So if you're a family, which Nintendo's big on the whole family play thing. So if you're playing with a kid, they don't necessarily have to find motor control to be doing a lot of heavy.
They suck.
It's like to say the 2-year-old sucks at the game.
I call it significant other mode. When you're like when you're hogging the TV for like 6 hours and like your SO just needs something to do and you're just like, oh fine, I'll help you get star bits or whatever. But let's take this from the top. Let's go from the beginning here. We started off with the Xenogears, right? Was that the
Xenoblade Chronicles?
Xenoblade Chronicles 2. First thing we saw.
JRPG checkbox.
And then we had
Kirby was right after that.
That looks. I'm very interested in playing that with my son.
We have a confirmation that they are bringing mainline Pokemon RPG to the Switch, which
but showed nothing.
They showed nothing, but they confirmed that it's in development. Which, again, I think we all kind of we know that this is coming. The fact that modders were so easily able to upscale Sun and Moon to 1080p and make it look fantastic. They completely overbuilt all the assets for higher resolution than 3DS. A lot of that was leaning in that direction. So we all kind of know that this is the next step, but hearing it from them is a huge comfort. Even if they're saying it's not coming this year, they announced.
They didn't say it's coming ever. They were just like,
they said within a year. They said within a year.
They said it may not. It may be more than a year.
Yeah. I think holiday next year is probably their goal for it. You have your Mario this year. You have your Pokemon next year. When hardware sales start slumping a little bit again.
Okay, now it looks like Nintendo does have some post-conference interviews that we can pull up on the screen as we're discussing as well, if everyone wants to check those out.
Sure.
And that way we can learn a little bit more about some of the titles and offer our own thoughts on those. Shall we?
Yeah.
All right, let's do that.
I think they're getting that stuff queued up for
Okay,
us.
great.
I want to talk about seeing, first of all, the Xenoblade Chronicles, and then seeing Fire Emblem right afterwards. Oh,
So these are a couple of the gameplay
capture
demos
mechanic
that
lets you take
they've
over
got
things. It
going
also
on.
lets you do fairly exotic things like
New Donk City.
Oh, they're going with that.
Yeah, they are. Why wouldn't they?
Not a fan of the donk?
capture mechanic come about.
This is my biggest fear for this game. Is I'm worried about the name New Donk City, which is a weird thing to say, and I'm worried about the way the humans look and the humans look in comparison to Mario.
They just said the mayor of New Donk City is Pauline, you guys. Pauline from the Donkey
What?
Kong games. Come on, that's good.
That's true. The humans are very human.
Yeah, I love it. It's creepy.
Well, but what does it make Mario?
Makes him a Mario.
Genetic monstrosity.
This is a Crisis
true.
on
He's good
Infinite
at
Earth
getting it.
sort of thing. This is a multiverse, is what we're seeing.
All right, you can become
confirmation. You can become a
street pole.
Yep.
They did show a lot of that in the trailer, throwing your
Finally, I'll
hat
be able
onto
to-
enemies and onto objects.
I'll be able to realize all my ambitions.
I'm gonna be honest. This is turning me off a little bit.
I don't know. This is an interesting area to show off of all of like the
Yeah.
really amazingly out there, fantastic areas that we saw in the
This
trailer.
isn't one of them.
Well, this is like your Sonic Adventure 2, right? Like you start off in the city, and it's kind of weird and fun to see Mario in a city. But I really want to see some more. My favorite land that they've showed is that weird food land where food is cooking itself. Like I want to see
bizarre.
more of that.
Yeah, this environment really doesn't
Well,
do
I mean,
anything
this seems very
for
much
me.
like a hub.
This is I feel like this is where we're going to start off. We're learning how to do things. We're seeing our abilities. I love that power line thing. That's interesting.
And so, you know, we might be like getting ahead of ourselves here in that they may show this off. That right now, maybe they're just showing the mechanics of traversal.
Yeah, this may not even be an area as it will appear in the game.
All right, here we go. Now we're going
I
somewhere.
like that Mayor Pauline already made a
No.
commemorative park for herself.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, if I was
Step
a
one.
mayor, I would rename every street after myself.
Rocket
and people
ship
would
from
have a really hard time getting
Super
around.
Mario 2, by the way, is what took us up.
So this is just the training levels.
Mario,
Look, I'm
world-class
Sonic.
gymnast.
Mario now collecting rings.
Well, he has been to the Olympics, Gus.
That's very true.
He never completes the loop.
Well, he's afraid he'll turn inside out.
Oh, yeah. Or lose the hat.
Yeah. I love that everybody's
is
dressed
real
like a
deal.
1950s salesman. Like that guy was just standing off to the side in a suit and fedora, as they all are in New Donk City.
Working on the Johnson account.
Yeah. Oh, get those purple coins.
Got a drop.
Come on, Treehouse employee.
Can you?
Oh.
No.
Come on, where's the ambition?
Oh.
Oh, and
Come
he
back.
waited for the next cycle around?
That's-
What are
you know what?
doing?
How dare you?
I'm 30 seconds closer to death because of you. And we continue to stay in. This is like the Matrix loading program, right?
You got a moon.
You got a moon, man. I love this.
Please take me somewhere that looks colorful. You tried, buddy.
Green's a color.
It is a color.
And I do think that it's fun seeing Mario like in a normal city. Like the incongruousness of it just is really weird to me nonstop.
But is that what you want from Mario?
I want weird from everything.
All right. You want to jump on somebody having their coffee? He didn't even explode like a Goomba.
Well, he's not a Goomba.
I know, he's a coffee getter.
He's not a Goomba, he's a man, he's a salesman, he's making deals.
Well, then why are we here?
Well, yeah, obviously coffee's for closers, right? I mean,
Mario just slaps it out of his hand.
Confirmed, Mario can climb.
It is a very like mid-century metropolis, like Art Deco looking version of New York. I like that, or New Donk.
So is this?
So there's some weird color over there. I bet that's where we're heading.
You know, maybe. Or maybe we'll just chill on top of this building.
Does he have a glider like Link?
Oh, he's waiting to synchronize.
So is
I think we're gonna see that hat jump.
is
You
this a flying city?
Yeah, I mean that is the weird part of it. These
It's just
they
real
are
foggy.
floating in the sky.
Also, like, what do? You get to the edge of town, and turn around.
I think that cab driver down there is contemplating suicide.
Tank.
He's just gonna ride off.
Load the jump program. Just take your time, Neo.
Well,
you may not be the one.
They're having a discussion here.
Yeah.
They're having our own discussion.
Certainly.
From the outside, it looks like a man standing on top of a building.
Sure.
Hey! You didn't believe.
Through the skylight into a Mario on 30-man fight. Fine. Oh, it's a jazz man.
It's that guy from Zelda. He's
Rooftop
ported into
concerts
human.
are the best. It's a pity no one can really hear me.
So they're not
Also,
really
it's
the best
a pity
then.
there's no way down.
I love these little.
There's a quick way down.
I love these little hints at like little open world things that you can do.
Like there might be collectibles around.
Yeah, like clearly you're supposed to do something to help that guy be heard.
Yeah, or you know, potentially as you go around, there might be other. Maybe you can get him music.
Yeah, or you could
Take his
kidnap
lighter
people to
side.
take him up there to attend his concert.
Most of the side quests in Super Mario Odyssey are kidnapping based, and that's a design decision. And it's not creepy. And
It
we're
was
fine
not
with
possible before the technology of the Switch.
I'm interested in this. When they showed the hat, the living hat, I definitely had some flashbacks to Super Mario Sunshine, and I was worried about how people would react to it, having this sort of like assistive helper character that sort of changed the mechanics. Because at the time when Sunshine came out, it was not super well received. It's a favorite now.
I was not a fan of Sunshine.
You were not a fan of
yeah.
Sunshine. A lot of people weren't when it came out because the water pack sort of changed things too much. And I'm watching what they're doing with the living hat now, and just kind of checking on how it augments things, but maybe doesn't change it too much. I like the Cranky Street.
I want to live on Cranky Avenue, by the way.
I think you do live on Cranky Avenue.
So does Ryan.
Ryan definitely lives on Cranky Avenue.
It's morning Cranky Avenue.
You know, Ryan's he's the neighborhood watch of Cranky Avenue.
You got to have someone.
You kids look too happy.
Stop it.
Stop enjoying
Take a dose of
things.
realism with that.
Okay.
In my head, I just envisioned that there's one actor in the world that they use for motion capture for Mario running, and they can only get that one dude who can do this flailing arm run.
What if
that
it was
no one
poor
else can do.
Charles Martinet who also does the voice? Poor like 60-something-year-old Charles Martinet.
And they're
Has
like,
to,
all right, put on the bobble suit. Let's do this.
We need you to swing from bar to bar, Charles. Oh, no.
Mario always looks like he's running for the first time.
All right, well, he took a hit there, so it's
took
kind of
damage.
like a life bar.
Yeah.
Okay, we lost 10 coins for dying. That's interesting.
That's healthcare, and New Donk is cheap. I mean, especially the currency's just on the ground.
Yeah, you can undo death for 10 coins you find on the ground.
I mean, I like to think that he landed just not well.
Guys, I'm gonna go ahead and say this is still coming off as a really odd choice of area to show off to the public for the first time.
I would agree with you on that. This is
And- Did it
well,
again.
just because the trailer shows like all the colorful, crazy worlds, and this is the hub world, but the hub world's not where you want to spend the most of your time.
If it is the hub world, if this is not just a single world in and of itself.
That's true.
But
That's true. We are making a little bit of an assumption.
But, like, I think they latched onto the fact that we all really laughed at all of the New Donk puns in the teaser trailer. And they were like, obviously everyone wants to
loves
see
New
New Donk
Donk.
City. Gotta show them the New Donk.
Better than the old Donk.
People want that New Donk. It's E3.
I mean, I assume this is primarily just training montage at this point, but
I don't know. This looks like it's maybe a little further ahead than a training.
I mean,
which is
that-
what's leading me to believe like maybe New Donk is like an early world or first world, but this is definitely feels like a later level in a first world.
Right, like you've unlocked some stuff. There's new areas to go to or new stuff to find.
You're using a couple of different mechanics. It's not like repeating, trying to show you something.
Also, though, they seem to be specifically hunting down the moons.
Yeah.
So this might just be like a collectible hunt.
I think moons
That was
are
a-
probably our shines now. is
that was
what
a
it looks
very
like.
short level. If that was, well, I mean, I get these are like smaller bites experience, but that was not.
Oh, the white
Whoa.
top hat comes out. Oh.
Did you bring your white top hat?
In his full Bowser marriage finery. Oh, I love it.
I love that his shirt has a picture of the Mario hat as well.
Yeah. The Mario hat that the guy next to him is wearing.
There's a lot of layers.
I think there's a missed opportunity if they're not selling that Mario hat down to the Nintendo booth this year.
Can I tell you my favorite? This is about Mario having a dark power of possession over other things via his hat, and I do like that. My favorite thing
Here we
is
go. Now we got some color.
the piranha plant with the mustache, or the fish.
The cheap.
Yeah, the cheap.
Yeah, I like the addition of the mustache. Stuff.
Wow, totally just dissed that guy that really wanted to talk to you. There we go.
Okay, this I love. I love this weird Day of the Dead cartoon vibe. I'm into this. And the crystals. This is a solid design.
One thing I did want to show off is, so as we mentioned, there's two kinds of coins in this game. And for the, I believe the first
kingdom-specific coins.
Currency that's unique to levels.
Which means we're spending them.
Well, I don't know. It's
in some way.
It's at 4 out of 100. I don't know if that means you need to collect all 100, or if you can only hold up to 100.
Yeah, getting some sort of collectible that's world exclusive.
I assume that you don't lose 10 of those when you die, though, unless
the other currency's still there.
Come back.
This is also a Mario about trade and economics.
Right. You know, you can break the triangle currency down into shards.
Yeah.
Which you use to upgrade your hat.
Yes.
You know, you kind of look at it and you think, wait,
this guy's got his own hat. He's rocking too.
I really do just love just the squash and stretch and all the silly character they put into every tiny little NPC in a Mario game.
Yeah, they do cartoony very well. It always feels really, really good.
And you know, they're collectible.
It's a cold place, but also a warm place.
Outfits or buy souvenirs.
Oh, here we go. We got a shop.
Oh, tell me more.
Show me the hats that we can buy.
Toasterina.
Speaking of shopping, we are
Coins can be used everywhere.
Okay.
The purple ones are unique to the local.
Oh, we do have hat stores. We have outfit stores.
I'm gonna buy because the
Is this what you wanted from this game?
This is what yes, absolutely.
Oh, look at you can buy yourself a poncho.
Does the spirit of your current animated hat now imbue that hat, or is it you've swapped him?
We'll have to find out.
You have to throw your other hat friend that you've had many memories with into a hat incinerator. It's
That's
very
the only
sad.
way.
It's
yeah.
very sad.
You have to listen to the screams.
Has to be done.
So it's
yeah.
So it's Persona.
Yes.
I like to call him cultural appropriation Mario.
That's I was just about to say.
So my capabilities are the same.
This is like Mario on a 7-day cruise to Cabo. He's like, look, now I look like one of the locals, right?
Yeah,
Mix it in. I don't want to come off like a tourist.
I mean, he fits in more here than he does in.
You're killing me, man.
He certainly fits in more here than he does in that other Matrix world.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had a little thing where we couldn't get into the hat club. Hat and poncho club.
That guy thinks he blends in enough.
No, it's the poncho and the hat tricked him.
Yes, everybody dance. What?
Yes.
Again, our KK slider connection.
Mariowachi.
That's it. That's it.
Where you never really know what's going to happen when you.
Oh.
I don't know. I wanted to
You
get this room so I could
played old Diddy for a moon?
Now you got a moon.
All right.
I very much enjoyed that moment.
I'm missing some stuff here, though.
What are you missing?
3D Mario.
Is it in your other pants?
It might be.
What is it you're looking for?
He hasn't bought new pants yet. Maybe. Well, okay, so he just jumped around for a couple seconds to get enough change to buy new clothes.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Now maybe we're getting to something.
Now,
but I mean, traditional Mario is a lot of platforming and a lot of.
Well, it depends on the Mario that you're talking about. You know, I mean,
again, I'm an old school Mario.
Right. If you're looking at, say, like a Super Mario 64. There is a lot of you have
older
to
than that.
You have to hunt and gather a little bit to go around and collect coins, and that's a lot
cool.
of it can be platforming puzzles, it can be hunting stuff down.
So you're basically looking for combat.
Yeah.
No, I'm looking not necessarily for combat, but just that platformer.
I think we're getting into it now. I think this is the first traditional sort of 3D Mario level that we're seeing. That's kind of a little more open, a little bit more about jumping. Although he did just possess that bullet bill and skip that entire section, which is cool. I like that.
And necessary to get those rings.
Bullet bills, of course, are useful because you can
So I guess it's different approaches to playing.
Yeah.
And then you got the moon. There it is.
So obviously, it feels to me like if you are possessing a bullet bill and you run into something, you probably explode.
Yeah.
Which is why all those columns are at different heights. So you've got to kind of be careful about how you're manovering. I like this.
Well, here you go. Collecting that moon didn't end this little sequence. Like they're still going on.
So I do like that they're sort of taking they're taking the suits of Super Mario 3D World, right? All of these different animal suits, and they're kind of saying, well, we have all these adorable Mario creatures anyway. What if these enemies were now the suits? Which I really enjoy. So like now you're a Goomba, now you're a bullet bill.
It's really like Hannibal Lecter. You're putting their skin on.
Oh, this will be something you can relate to, Ryan.
Yes.
There you go.
Now Old Man Ryan is fitting in.
This is awesome.
This is very is a Zelda Link Between Worlds.
Yes. And also a bit like the those classic Super Paper Mario sequences as well. This is great. I love this.
This is great.
Oh.
Okay, that was cool. So you jump up out of the wall and bam, you're back in our current dimension. How do you
You
think it
guys,
feels
this
to
is
be
going to be a
2D?
real good game.
I wanted to make something that would be, sort of a
I'm going to love
contrast
this
with the
game.
3D stages that you're able to explore.
Well, you only have to wait till October 27th.
My stars.
We're going for moons.
My moons.
In this one.
Oh,
more of that.
I think is he getting cold?
They're more precise.
I'm getting cold. It's cold in here.
It's so much better than
Because
last
we have
year.
air conditioning this year.
Oh, this is neat.
But also within the 2D stages, as you can see, we wanted to have a lot of different.
Yeah, I love this. Feels like one or two of these per world will make me super happy. I don't want them to lean too heavily on it.
Interesting. You still have just the health
One
orb
thing I'd love to show off
mechanic
when we're
with
getting
this.
out to right the end of this space is just how
Really
much
ran
the
death down there.
changes when we're transitioning back and forth. Because I know we've been chatting. Maybe it's hard for some folks to hear.
This is like some old school, like Super Nintendo, Sega CD stuff where they would like map an entire level onto like a cube or a cylinder and just be like, look, it's 3D.
High tech.
Yeah.
We did it.
As Mario hurting, since he's at one health, looks like he's kind of hunched over,
The last part of this.
breathing heavy.
You
not
still
sure.
have questions.
I'm still not sure. Yeah.
What do you have questions?
Well, again, remember,
because I find this
I'm jumping
fascinating.
from,
Because the last Mario game you played in full, in depth, was on the Super Nintendo.
Yes. Which was a pure platform.
This is like you literally woke up from a time capsule and are now seeing
Yes.
Mario Odyssey.
Well, that is what this is my journey with the new Switch.
It's your Odyssey?
It's my Odyssey. Is I wanna.
You're gonna be here we're just starting. The show hasn't even opened yet, folks.
Yeah, we already lost the host.
That's what I'm here for, is to see where the things that I played as a child have gone. And Super Mario World, to me, was one of the most iconic platformers ever. It stepped down a lot.
Confirmation. If you hit something as a bullet bill, you immediately turn back into Mario.
And just fall.
Yeah, and just fall. That's interesting.
But this is very different from that. This is, I feel like they're running around and doing a lot of different mechanics, but haven't yet looked at it and gone, okay, I get to. There's something about a purity of experience of, I'm going to get to do this thing.
And I think you're going to get a lot of that. I think what they're doing right now is for people who have been playing all the new Mario games, who have been playing the modern 3D Mario games, who are into Super Mario 3D World.
The not Ryans.
The not Ryans
Right.
of the world. They're showing us what's new and different.
The diversity of it.
Because if they showed us the same thing, we'd be like, cool, it's more Mario and I like Mario. So what they want to do is they want to show us all the new mechanics and systems that they put into this.
So up here we'll go back
Yeah, that's fair.
All the heavy hat-based mechanics.
I-
Oh, airship! Oh, airship! They're going to end it before the airship, aren't they? They're not getting in the
What's
airship.
that little heart there? Oh, okay. I guess it was health if he was.
Everything is
Yeah.
about coin-based economy.
Okay. Here you
There you go. There's your airship.
Oh, are we getting in the airship? Oh, thank you.
Who are
What
those
is this
guys?
cool rabbit gang?
When did this become Mario and Rabbids? Is Mario plus Rabbids? What's the official branding here?
Mario plus Rabbit.
Okay.
Oh. Here we go.
She's
We're
not
about to
happy
get
with you.
attacked by a Tiny Toons reject. Is this what has replaced the Koopas?
Seems like it.
Yeah.
What happened to the Koopas? Did we finally kill them all?
Well, the trouble with a lot of the Nintendo characters is that we end up liking them, and then they join Mario Kart, and then it seems like they're all good friends. So then we got to find new people to want to beat because we like these guys.
Well, why not just use his hat of domination and just control her mind? Is that what the helmet is
she's
for?
got a helmet on.
Yeah.
I see. Well, she didn't there. He knocked it off.
She put it back on immediately and turned into a UFO, Ryan.
That's, you know.
I like that you're sitting on the couch trying to find the logical plot holes
you got
of the magical hat game.
He's got a magic hat of domination. He can possess everything. He's become a bullet. He's become an electrical wire. He can't become an angry rabbit woman.
That's true, but they weren't. Are they normally sentient?
By the time
they're not normally human-ish.
I mean, the bullet Bill has like eyes and arms.
By the time you get to the end of Mario Odyssey, he's learned to control the hat so much that you can become the iron in someone's blood and make their heart explode.
Rip it right out.
So this is cool. This is a very standard opening Mario game boss.
Yes. Right there. The hat's off. Take her mind.
Maybe that's what he's gonna do.
Well, he just stomps on her at this point.
How uninspired.
You know, until this moment, I never realized how much Mario Koopa battles were the original Dark Souls.
Go on.
Yeah, continue.
It's all about. It's like Dark Souls fighting is all about finding the mechanic to dodge the attack and striking the opening.
Well,
and that is
exactly it's pattern recognition.
It is finding the pattern and then using it to just repeating that process with some minor variation to defeat the enemy.
Is that a triple moon?
That's the elusive triple moon.
Yes.
Very rare.
It's only people with 3 cheeks can do it.
Bravo.
Oh, so I like it
Thank
in
you.
its natural form. It is a top
That's a
hat
grand
ghost.
Oh, okay. So it's okay. That's cool. So that hence the white top
So
hat.
it's just possessing the red Mario hat.
That looks great.
Do you think they're selling the white top hat here at E3?
I'll go look.
And if so,
They're selling these
oh,
amiibo.
That's cute.
Wow. I think I know what's going to be in every Nerd Wedding Facebook album next year.
Oh no!
I think we found it.
Cake toppers.
I was going to say the great cake toppers.
Some things that I want to point out that were in the background there that we did not get to see. We get to see the Mario hat controlling a chain chomp. I want to see what that's about. There's a giant tank back there that you can apparently take control of. There's some sort of Moai head.
Yeah,
There's the Japanese dude.
We didn't really get a good look at the Bullet Bill. I want to see the mustache on it.
A mustache on a Bullet Bill.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
Well, the mustache goes on everything else.
There it is.
You asked, they delivered.
I am looking forward to the dinosaur. I want to know how much and how often we control a dinosaur.
Yeah, I thought that was a joke initially, like a misdirect for that trailer, but the dinosaur's right there.
Yeah. This is really exciting to me, guys. I like it when it looks like they're keeping enough of what I love, the core Mario stuff in there, and just continuing to get a little weirder and a little weirder and a little weirder.
Do you think we'll get like a Jurassic Park 2 segment where you go back to the city but as the Tyrannosaurus?
Your mouth to God's ears, Ryan. Please let that happen. Please.
We're gonna donk the shit out of New Donk.
They have to make a new donk.
I hope they use the word donk like Smurf in New Donk.
Undonking believable.
That's redonkulous.
No.
It's twice I've wanted to walk away.
All week.
Right. Is there anything else from the press conference you'd like to go over?
So we were going through the list of stuff
Sure.
before we switched over here. We just talked about Pokemon, mainline Pokemon RPG. We saw a beautifully rendered 4 for Metroid Prime 4.
Man, was it a total logo.
Just the existence, though, because like Ashley said, they've skipped entire generations without a Metroid.
It seems like, and they know that people like it because anytime you create a Nintendo account anywhere, there are always Metroid options. Always. They know that people like the franchise, that it's a storied, valuable franchise, but they've just, what is it, Federation Force or whatever, that does not count.
I've heard they've hit some rough patches, though, in the series.
Well, I think the trick was when they came out with Prime, they lucked into finding Retro, they lucked into finding the right team to kind of reimagine a Metroid for what gaming was at that time, right? So now, with Metroid Prime 4, I can imagine them trying to do that again, where it's like, we can't just create another first-person shooter that has the Metroid label on it. We have to figure out what's new and what's interesting. We have to dive back into this franchise and figure out what's cool about Metroid that we can bring into the Switch and into the current generation of consoles.
Do you think that that's what they will go forward with? Because I feel like it's very unusual that they're going that far down instead of doing like a God of War or it's just like
it's got the Prime title. That's the thing. It's Metroid Prime 4. If it was Metroid anything else, I would be totally in the dark about what they're trying to do with it. But because they're adding Prime, we definitely know that they're trying to add to that core shooter franchise, which is interesting to me.
No, that's a great point. Also, next on the list, we got that Yoshi game, which was just called Yoshi. I definitely got a Woolly World from it.
Wow.
Everything's made of cardboard and paper and friendship.
Yeah, it seemed
is.
It was very
Except
reminiscent
for
of both Woolly World and Paper Mario for some reason to me.
Except for all the weaponized embryos.
Yeah, well, the weaponized
He's not friends with those.
You got to stay true to the franchise. Woolly World did have a lot of...
yeah, killing kids. That's just what it's made
that's just
on.
a core
That's just
Yoshi
That's part of just what he does.
I mean, are they kids yet?
I mean, depends on if they're fertilized.
Wow. Welcome to YouTube Live, where we're about to get into the discussion. I like that they did that in Woolly World, where everything was made out of crafting materials. Everything was made out of like arts and crafts stuff. It's a super adorable aesthetic, and I am ready for more of it.
Yeah, it looked great. It looked like a lot of fun.
And we're watching the chat as well, so I actually want to hear from you guys with the give us a thumbs up emoji or a thumbs down emoji. Did the Nintendo Spotlight Conference deliver what you wanted it to?
Let us know how the Nintendo Spotlight made you feel via emoji.
Yeah.
Next after Yoshi, we had Fire
Give
Emblem
us an
Warriors.
eggplant and a water splash emoji if you liked the Nintendo conference.
If that's your thing. Fire Emblem Warriors.
Yep.
Then we saw...
I want to take a moment to just say I think it's super, super smart that the Switch is leaning hard into JRPG as a portable console, but as a portable console that you can hook up to your TV and sit in front of for 12 hours at a time. Leaning into like 60-hour RPGs is, I think, a huge way to go.
Or like, and then the fact you can put it in your pocket, take it with you on a plane or in a car, as you're traveling. I think, that's a great way to do it.
Okay, I'm seeing some tongues. I'm seeing some monkeys.
Sure.
I saw some
Which
flexing.
monkey? Because that's
lots
important.
of eggplants.
Top hats.
Monkey face. Top hats.
Great.
Hold on, we got some hearts with arrows through them. We got some fires. Lots of these.
Nice.
For those who are doing the thumbs down, who are not satisfied with the Nintendo Spotlight, I'm actually curious what you were hoping was going to be announced or was going to be revealed. Were you hoping for Pokemon Stars actual gameplay reveal? What is it that they did not deliver that you wanted to see?
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing.
Besides
Animal Crossing.
But like I said, I would be happy if I got one of my Trinity and I got two.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. You didn't even get a logo for Pokemon. They were just like,
I got a confirmation. Okay, I got 1.5. I got a logo. I got a logo and a confirmation.
I'd say you got one. You got two halves. You got like.
I got
making it.
1.25.
All right. I'll give you a 0.75
Deal.
I
for
love that
Metroid.
we're arguing about fractions here.
I'll give you a 0.75
I don't even know what
for
we're arguing
Metroid
about
because they gave you a
fractions
logo.
of, Gus. What was the
I
next
don't
game we
know.
saw?
I have a quick question before we get to that. What does that mean to you? Like I was
Okay.
Okay, someone.
That means okay to me also.
This means
Okay, USA.
To my wife, that means perfect. And I realize there's a lot of people who think that this is perfect.
In some places, it means 3.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're 3.
I am hearing a couple people saying that they were disappointed no virtual console announcement.
Yeah.
That's huge. That is huge.
Well, they just recently talked about the ability to stream certain old games with your premium membership. So I could see they would want to muddy the water on that.
But they then also delayed the premium membership into 2018.
But remember that this is not, when they say streaming, they're not talking streaming the way like a PlayStation Now is streaming. They're talking about like sort of a Netflix library of downloadable ROMs. Because when you're talking about old consoles, like there's no reason to stream a Super Nintendo game. That costs them more money than letting you download a 20
more
meg
like
game.
Xbox's current.
Also doesn't fit with a mobile platform.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, ideally you can take this thing anywhere. You're not going to always have
Also,
internet connection.
also
So
no
streaming
Smash,
would just completely
no
undercut
Smash
you.
Brothers.
No Smash.
So I think what that says to me is that this year we got Zelda, we'll get Mario, they're teeing up Pokemon and they're teeing up Metroid, then so probably next year we'll see, like, because they do try to spread out their franchises so you don't get all of the major franchises together at once.
Well, it's also a smart move because Splatoon launches on the Wii U, right? And I love Splatoon, and I think it was wonderful. I don't think Splatoon got the chance to shine on the Wii U that it should have had. And by releasing Splatoon and ARMS, these kind of newer or lesser-known franchises that are for a competitive community, and kind of delaying Smash a little bit, Nintendo is saying, like,
give these
a go, see how you feel. We think you're going to love them just as much as you love Smash, whether or not that's true, and then we'll give you Smash Brothers next year.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I would definitely agree with that as well. And they're also trying to build them. Splatoon is an interesting game to me because, the Wii U install base is not huge. It didn't sell nearly what they were hoping, and yet Splatoon managed to sell, in excess of 4 million copies. It's sold to one of every 3 Wii U owners, in spite of almost no one hearing much about it. It was very quietly enormously successful.
Splatoon, and it was a fantastic game.
It was unbelievable.
It was really, really fun.
Splatoon.
I mean, not being a Nintendo, big follower, I heard of it, so I would imagine Splatoon was not that quiet.
Were you more of a squid or more of a kid, Ryan?
I just love to put the squid in the kid.
I'm a kid now, but I'm a squid now.
you know what they say? Kid in the streets, squid in the sheets.
That's what they do say. Eggplant emoji.
Could not go the other way with that one.
Water splash emoji.
You can't.
Nope.
What else we see? We saw that new Kirby.
We saw Fire Emblem Warriors. We saw the Breath of the Wild DLC and Amiibos.
By the way,
yes.
The Sad Twins trailer.
Who do you think loves their parents more?
Fire Emblem Warriors.
Right, there we go. Does that just really underpin the just don't put text in the middle of your two siblings? They missed their mother. It was like Justin Roiland doing Rick and Morty.
It's like that episode where they go to the world of alternate cable.
Yeah. I mean, it's the reading it out like that. If you're doing it in your head, there's no way to do that and not make it sound ridiculous.
Yeah.
Give me a voice with gravitas that will deliver it with the respect it deserves instead of me going, and then an asteroid and a fleet of old people.
I have a new favorite viewer, and that's Chelsea Blackwell, who is also sad that they didn't announce a Fantasy Life, because thank you.
Yeah.
Fantasy Life 3DS, absolutely spectacular. I
had totally forgotten about my Fantasy Life.
So fantastic.
Wow.
It was fantasy. No, that didn't work.
Nope.
But I was really sad when they announced that Fantasy Life 2 is going to be a mobile title rather than 3DS, because I loved the experience I got on 3DS so much. If you were to take that and translate it to Switch, I would be a very happy camper.
Well, this is what we were talking about in the pre-show, right? Once you play something on the Switch, you're just like, put everything I love on the Switch.
Absolutely.
Please and thank you.
Because it does, if you're willing to take the hit on the graphics and some of the functionality, because the Switch doesn't have the kind of power that a traditional home console has. You make that choice. You say, I'm willing to take the hit, but in exchange, I get to take it wherever I go with me.
But in the case of 3DS stuff, it's an upgrade.
Right. Then it's an
Fantasy Life. It's like, cool, this is even better.
It's win-win-win.
Like that's why I was so excited to see an Animal Crossing, is because what was the last console Animal Crossing we saw was a couple generations ago, and I just want to see a beautiful new Animal Crossing.
I would agree.
Yeah.
And it's the kind of game that is really good to be able to have with you, which is why I think it's worked really well on 3DS, because you pick it up, you do a couple of things, you put it away, you don't think about it too much. When you open it again, you don't have to wonder which quest you're on. You can forget about it and go fishing or go pull up some weeds or just like do follow your bliss at any moment.
Talking about the Zelda DLC, which is very exciting because we saw more of the Trials of the Sword. Which I was a little worried. You and I, we both said Horde mode, right? Because that's what we've been thinking of it as, is this Horde survival mode. And it was nice to see the breadth of environments that are going to be included in that mode. It's not just going to be like
hunker down
in an arena. Right. It's going to be more like the island. It's going to be more like the survival island, but in different places, which is amazing.
My understanding of it is that it's essentially
amazing.
It's essentially like
how
rooms,
squished it is?
And you have to like complete a room, and then you move to the next room.
Yeah.
So it's kind of Horde mode, but you're the one that moves. They don't come to you.
We're the Horde.
Turns out
one.
Maybe we were the Horde the whole time.
We're an invasive species come to take their land.
Would have wanted to see more of the stuff about the champions. Wanted to see that DLC a little bit more.
Especially for something coming out this year.
Yeah. And I think it's because that one's going to be more story driven, and so that's probably much more incomplete at this point.
They're still writing it? Oh, shit.
I mean, it'd be a prequel, right? It'd kind of have to be.
Yeah. It's going to be, I think it's the story of the champions. It looks like the story of the champions Zelda, everything that happened 100 years ago.
Bit of a flashback.
Yeah. So the things that we saw in those memories, but extrapolated on.
So then, yeah, like you mentioned earlier in the conference, we did see Kirby as well. Then we also saw more of the Mario plus Rabbids. Rocket League, which again is a huge...
It's a huge get.
Yeah, I think and that speaks to what you were talking about, Anthony, where you're like, I want every game that I like put onto the Switch. And I think that
I
Rocket
wonder
League
if it'll have split screen.
Oh, I would hope so. I would hope so.
I know they rattle off some things there, and I may have missed it. They definitely said local multiplayer would be
Chat,
available.
if they said anything about split screen, let us know.
That's an awful small screen, though, to be splitting.
You know, it works on Mario Kart just fine.
It does. They're not big screens, but you can get by.
Yeah, they're not tiny either. With Rocket League, there's a little bit more going on. Like battle mode on Mario Kart on a split screen is like gets a little rough. But for me, it's about like no matter where I go, if I'm the only person that brought my Switch, I still have 2 controllers for Rocket League if anybody wants to play.
I'm reading the information that they released here on Rocket League. It's going to include a local wireless multiplayer mode, presumably similar to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Yes.
No mention was made of split-screen co-op on the Switch.
Tricky.
I didn't think I heard anything.
Tricky.
Yeah, so we don't know.
But then that's 1v1 Rocket League is not really ideal.
Sure. That's true.
I mean, you could do it with bots.
I was thinking
or
more
2v bots or...
Yeah, I was thinking more along the lines of if we have 2 Switches, we can have 4 players.
Fair, yeah.
And then you've got like a really good game going. But yeah, Rocket League is a huge get for sure.
And then right after that, they followed up with Super Mario Odyssey, which we are all in love with. And then there's Ryan.
I'm gonna try it.
Ryan's just eyebrow at it.
Yeah, I'm uncertain.
Ryan, what are
I'm
the chances
old and
of
my
us-
life has changed so much.
What are the chances of us getting you to play the Mario games you've missed before Odyssey comes
Oh
out?
God!
Well, you're going to be lost story canonically. You're not going to know what's going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of deep Mario lore.
It's got like all kinds
Is
of
the
things.
princess kidnapped? Was there a cake that was made?
I didn't
You
even
will
see a
not know.
princess.
You will
Was there a
not know.
princess?
We
Which
had- we had-
princess is it?
we had
Is
the
it
amiibo.
Peach or the other one?
Peach or the other one?
There's 2, right?
There are 3 now.
What?
Yeah.
Who's
there
the
are
other
3.
one?
We told you you're going to be lost.
Mario's got a harem?
Well, it's not explicitly stated, but in some of the expanded universe stuff.
If it was a if it was a Facebook status, it would be it's complicated.
It's very complicated.
You know, it's what we've seen here today is what we've seen with everybody else here today, or everybody else here at E3 is kind of like a lot of it's coming, not a lot of when it's coming.
That was the most whatever. Maybe you'll get it eventually. Conference of them so far.
And a lot of reminders of things that we already knew were coming, but boy, they're even closer now. It hasn't been as big an E3 for releases within the next couple months as the last.
Yeah, no one did just like the mic drop. You can have it. I think Bethesda ruined it forever
with Fallout Shelter.
Yeah, they really did.
Well, they knocked it out. I was kind of hoping that the South Park Phone Destroyer game was going to be one of those moments.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, but they said it's just 2017.
I thought that was absolutely going to happen.
I was getting my phone
Are they
out.
still going?
All right, let's pull some stuff up.
So it looks like they came back up. It
That
looks like
was
Metroid on a DS.
This is
Metroid is the series where I feel like I'm going to be woefully uninformed on.
What was the last Metroid game you played?
Super Metroid.
That's a fantastic game.
It's a fantastic game.
So this, let's be very clear, is not Metroid Prime 4. This is a new Metroid title for 3DS.
Right. Which, like, great. I'm super into this.
Yeah, like I'm happy. Like this, you know what this means? There were rumors going around that they were going to announce a new Metroid Prime game as well as a new 2D Metroid game. So it looks like they'll do one for each.
Yeah.
See, I kind of want this game only higher resolution.
On the Switch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love that. Well, that's the thing that I said when Link Between Worlds came out is I was like, make this 1080p.
Yeah.
And put it on a console, and I will play it. This is great. So is this an entirely new?
Metroid Samus Returns.
Is that Metroid? Is that a remake of Metroid 2 then? You remember the Game Boy Metroid? The Metroid.
I never played that one. I never played that one.
Okay. I would like to know if this is an entirely new.
Well, surprise. Yes, I'm so
because we cannot hear them.
Them and then it was us.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But yeah, this is like when Metroid Prime or when Metroid Fusion came out on the GBA, and it was like, oh, cool. It's the original Metroid, and now I get to play it like completely upgraded. I would like to know if this is a brand new one though.
Well, hopefully we'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll get a little more information as the show goes on.
It looks great.
Yeah. I love Metroid. It's one of my favorite series.
I'm really glad that everybody's kind of embracing the if a game is traditionally 2D, we can give you a 2.5D version of it, and it doesn't feel like cheaping out. For a while, I think people were reluctant to do that, and they were like, "Well, we got to go either full 3D or we have to not remake the game." And I'm glad that people don't feel constrained by that anymore. There was that period where we got some 3D Castlevanias that were not great.
No, I
that Bionic Commando.
There is a greater range for types of games you can get these days, which I do quite like. That it is perfectly acceptable to have a 2.5D game, while you can also have another game that's crazy, open world, ambitious, huge in scope. But sometimes those nice, controlled, tighter experiences that do feel a little bit more like your youth are really very welcome.
Well, and they make so much more sense on mobile as well. Like that I think is one of the interesting things about the Switch is how people are designing games to be really long, but also be bite-sized and let you play them in 15 to 20 minutes when you are sitting and waiting somewhere, or you are like out somewhere and you have the time you would take to pull out your cell phone and play like a mobile game. What do you play in that 15 minutes?
Right.
You know? And they've done a really good job with that so far. Like, because Breath of the Wild, even though it's a game that I put 120 hours into, I could put 20, 30 minutes into Breath of the Wild and feel like I've done something.
You could probably like cook one thing.
So many things. so many delicious staminas.
You're gonna be able to crit some cooking.
There you go.
So I'm getting some information here from Eddie. I don't remember this story, but I'm being reminded that apparently that Nintendo shut down a fan-made Metroid 2 remake recently.
Yes, they did. I mean, Nintendo is famously protective of their IPs. There was an instance a little while back where they shut down something like 500 fan games in one go. You
just got to rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah, and it's not the first time they've shut down fan Pokemon games.
That Pokemon MMO that everybody was playing for a really long time, that online like massively multiplayer Pokemon that like some people just made, and it was like the most amazing thing in the world. And yeah, if I was Nintendo, I would probably shut that down.
Yeah, and for Nintendo, because they are so protective, it's not, if they shut something down, it's not always an indicator that it means they're planning something. It can also just mean that, well, they're very protective of their IP and they're going to shut it down.
Watching this melee counter system. That's pretty cool. I'm into it.
I do a critical hit on the enemy. But in the circumstance that I don't immediately shoot, I have
I mean, that is a Metroid I can relate to. I'm curious to see how the Metroid Prime feels. But, I mean, I was not sure how I would feel about a more 3D open world Zelda, and then Breath of the Wild really made it a compelling and enjoyable experience. So if they could deliver a Metroid that felt like Breath of the Wild made Zelda feel, I'd be pretty
Well, that's the
okay
pressure
with
that
it.
they're under now, right? Is they reinvented Zelda without making it feel like it wasn't Zelda, which is something they have not done in a really long time. It's something they haven't really done since Ocarina. The Zelda games were kind of getting more and more on this narrow path and this narrow sort of formula that they were following. And so Breath of the Wild really changed things up and reinvigorated it. And that's got to be tough to do with something like Metroid, which I think is not a harder sell, but probably not as easy a sell as a brand new Zelda is for them at this point, you know? I think there's obviously a huge Metroid fan base. There's obviously a history of being a best-selling game. But, like, you say Zelda and everybody in a room, no matter where you are, no matter how many video games they played in their life, goes, "Oh, Zelda, I like Zelda."
Okay.
You know, Metroid doesn't have that.
Yes, I mean, I really felt that it would be difficult, or could be difficult, to bring in new elements that
I would like to
would
know who's
add a
developing
lot of
Prime 4.
excitement and at
I want to
the
know
same
who's on that
time
right
make
now.
the
Well, there was
fans of the franchise,
there
you know, happy
was
and
some talk a little while ago that the Metroid Prime developer has been dark for a while.
Retro, yeah. Retro hasn't been doing anything for a while.
Right, and so it's
Or have
possible that
they?
they're working on it. Although I think they may have put out some tweets debunking that. It's been a whole journey.
But that would be procedure. That's standard procedure. If you're working on the new Metroid for many years, and people go, "Are you working on Metroid?" You go, "No." we're like.
Metroid, what's that?
We're like reorganizing our closet, and like there are a lot of errands we had to run, and just trying to like.
We're going new ways.
Yeah.
We're making pachinko machines now.
I'm trying to see if I can figure out who the developer on that is, but I don't think they have said specifically.
No, I have a feeling they didn't announce it.
Yeah, there's a lot of information as well that's going to be coming out. Nintendo, I believe, still intends to drop some additional titles via their Treehouse streams throughout E3. So we'll probably get more details sort of over the next 3 days, and then following E3 is when a lot of the filler information like that will come in. This was like at this point we know we've got a logo.
Yeah.
So I don't want to.
So as Anthony said, the hard work is done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Ship it. We'll put the rest in a day one
They
patch.
figured out the gradient on that logo, and they all went home. See you in a year. Okay, a little wall hang. I like that.
Who's this? Rumor. So is Eddie in this room, or is he somewhere else?
No, Eddie will be here shortly.
It seems like the rumor is currently it's being developed internally in Kyoto with additional work being done in Europe, according to rumors. But again, that is just rumor.
Interesting. One of the things that was really surprising to everybody when the original Prime came out was that it was a Western developer. And everybody was like, "What are they doing, giving it to these people?"
And then
that was so long ago.
So long ago. But it's interesting to see them kind of taking that, if they're taking that strategy again and working with an outside developer to kind of breathe some new life into it.
Yes.
It was an Austin-based developer, yeah. Because they're not allowed to say anything, because they're under so many NDAs at all times. That's why they're quiet.
They got NDAs on their NDAs.
So we've got Aeon abilities here. Interested in seeing what this is about. I like the design. I like the depth that they're adding to this. Even though it's like a 2.5D, they're not doing that thing where it's like, and there's like a wall 30 feet away. That's kind of interesting. Like they're really giving it some depth and some life in the world.
Right. But this is a brand new title, right? Or is this a?
Speculation at the moment is that it is a Metroid 2 remake.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
But I mean, it's from scratch remake, right?
Yes.
It's not. I'm just I'm looking at it as a person who's jumping from Super Metroid, and you remember games looking better than they were.
Oh,
like Super
absolutely.
Metroid was very 16-bit. I mean, there's no getting around that. This doesn't look 20 years later than that game.
Well, Metroid 2 was a
Game Boy
game.
Yeah.
So.
And it's a great game. So I'm excited that this is a remake of it.
Though I realize that this is still on a mobile platform, and it's, well, though you could argue that the Switch is also a mobile platform, but
It's a hybrid.
I'm
platform?
looking. Sure, it is. I'm looking at this, and it's not blowing me away like I would expect to be blown away after so many years.
But this answers a big question that we had before this whole thing started, where Ashley asked if we thought that Nintendo was really going to give some full support to the 3DS in this next year and a half. Developing, even though it is arguably a remake, it's still not easy to develop something like this from scratch, and it is a big gamble on a platform where you're like, are they even going to support this platform? Bringing a new Metroid to it is huge.
Right.
That's
and
a huge show of good faith on their part.
And it's good for Nintendo as well. I think hopefully it will wash the taste of Federation Force out of people's mouths.
Federation
before we get
what is this
Metroid
Federation Force you speak of?
It was like this multiplayer weirdy. It was Metroid in like name only.
It really was. I almost felt like they took something that wasn't Metroid and then just were like, we should brand this as something, and then added Metroid to the beginning.
I think it was a Star Fox Adventures deal.
Yeah.
I think somebody was developing a sci-fi multiplayer game, and they went, "That's a Metroid," and they were like, "Okay, it's a Metroid. Great.
If you say so.
That's even better."
Do you want to put some Samus on this? Get up in there.
Now we're a Metroid.
Hey, our sales just doubled, as did the anger.
All right, and so for a heads up for everyone who's watching, we have a full day of E3 programming coming up for you guys. That's going to be starting at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And we're going to have we've got a bunch of developers bringing their games through, and they're going to be coming on to talk about them. We'll be asking them questions. So if you have anything that you'd like to see asked, make sure that you either drop it in the chat, or if you tweet using the hashtag YouTubeE3 or RTE3, we'll be checking those. We'll be asking, we want to know all the details that we can possibly get. We've got a lot of really awesome games coming on today as well. We're going to be looking at the new Battlefield 1 content. We've got Matterfall from PlayStation coming on.
Nice.
Right, exciting. We've got, let's see, where's my whole, I got a whole list. We're going to be having Evil Within 2. We're going to be having Mario and Rabbids. Mario plus Rabbids. I will get used to that someday. Call of Duty World War II. Sea of Thieves. Yeah, Skull and Bones, so we can have a pirate off. And so we're gonna be having this going through all day long. So stay tuned, and we'll be having new games pretty much like every 20 to 30 minutes throughout the entire day. So you'll be seeing.
Who can live at that speed, Ashley?
Sonic can. He's not on the show.
He's not on the show. We are not having Sonic on the show.
Not showed up.
So definitely make sure you stay tuned. You'll be able to catch a lot more. Actually, if you're watching this as opposed to being here at E3, you'll probably see more games on our streams for the next 3 days. So you'd be able to if you were here. Yes. Also, because the developers will talk to you, which is nice.
And the lines are shorter.
And the lines are shorter, and your feet won't hurt. It's upsides for everybody.
If you had foot pain previous to this show will not relieve that foot pain.
No,
and
no
that's just a legal disclaimer that we have to give.
That's a pre-existing condition.
We
don't
can't
cover
give you
those.
new foot pain, is what we're saying. Sorry, that was just a. You can go on. That was just a legal thing.
I appreciate that.
Lawyers.
Thank you. I'd like to thank Anthony Carboni for joining our legal team.
I'm very lawyer-like, which is all you really need.
Lawyer
in a court.
Lawyer adjacent.
I'm better than a
adjacent,
lawyer.
yeah.
I'm lawyer-like.
You have glasses. You're there.
It is. I'm very smart.
So far, what are you most excited about from the show?
Whew, man, there's been a lot of good stuff. Shadow of the Colossus is my favorite game ever, and I've previously said that I will buy Shadow of the Colossus as many times as they keep re-releasing it, and so I'm very excited to see that I get to buy that again. I love the look of the new Spider-Man. Every additional frame of that Spider-Man that I see is great. I'm excited that we're going to have Housemarque on to talk about Matterfall because they are some of my favorite developers.
Oh, good.
If you liked Resogun, which was amazing, or if you like Super Stardust, they make these just absolutely brilliant, arcadey, wonderful things. So I'm psyched to have them here today.
Yeah, it's going to be great. We've got a couple of other cool ones, too. We're going to be having I keep wanting to call it Scorpio because we've been calling it that so long, but the Xbox One X on. Microsoft is going to bring that by, as well as Forza 7.
So small, so many flops.
Right? How do you fit that many flops into that
smallest,
tiny of a
floppiest
package?
console
Easy.
ever?
Flop folding.
Maybe they're interdimensional 4D flops.
It's like origami. You just flop them right up.
We're going to have Battlefront 2, Wolfenstein 2, Need for Speed Payback, South Park, The Fractured Butthole. It's going to be a good day.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
A lot of games today.
So that's starting at 11, which is at about 40 minutes from now.
Yeah, so we'll probably go not all the way dark, but for a little while here, we might run some of the trailers that have been coming up through the various press conferences, so you can see some of what's been announced and what's been shown and what's super exciting. And if you want to, every year E3 runs a trailer battle. So if you go to youtube.com/E3, which is where you can also see our stream, there's a trailer battle tab. You can watch a bunch of the different trailers and vote on which trailer brought the best A game, which is always kind of fun. And then they crown a winner at the end of the show.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we're going to go partially dark, which means we're just going to stare directly in the camera for 40 minutes.
Yeah, we'll still be sitting here.
I'm going to take a little nap. Yeah.
You guys want some questions and or comments from social media?
We love that.
So if you would like to ask us any questions or give your comments, use the hashtag YouTubeE3. Hashtag YouTubeE3. Okay. A lot of people are talking about what wasn't shown as part of the Nintendo presentation.
No Animal Crossing.
There's Animal Crossing. People keep mentioning Pikmin. But then Cameron Russell on Twitter, KKRussell15, says... no virtual console info.
Yep.
Very disappointed by that.
I wasn't expecting it.
We mentioned that,
I was expecting it, to be honest.
How could you not expect it? I mean, that's 90% of Nintendo's business is reselling you games.
Here's the thing. The Switch, for as wonderful as it is, there's clearly a lot of back-end networking and infrastructural stuff that is not in place, right?
Well, very
the
clearly,
fact that I could only save my credit card information in there, like, starting 2 weeks ago, means that systems that are in place across other Nintendo consoles just aren't there yet.
Right. Nintendo is playing a lot of catch up with online.
What a great problem for Nintendo to have. Our customers want us to save their credit card numbers to make it easier to buy stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, can't do it.
But yeah, but it's just that little
you want
infrastructural,
more?
transactional stuff where I'm just like, they released it early because they knew they had to release it early. They knew it had to be a spring release, but they clearly just weren't 100% ready. Because we still don't have that voice chat app.
Oh, yeah.
And there was no mention of that voice chat app.
Yeah. I can't wait to see how the final first-party solution for that's going to work.
All right,
The
I'm going to
emotional
ask you
line of
guys.
things.
Let me step in here. I'll get some more questions here. Ashley, there's a user, another Ashley on Twitter, and she said she absolutely loves your nail polish. She wanted
Thank you very
to know
much. I'm representing our yellow team from Amazing Race.
that. Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
I was wondering because Xbox green and PlayStation blue.
Weren't you?
What's that?
Where's your nail
Where's
polish?
your nail polish?
No, not today.
No
It's
rep.
not Friday yet.
No team loyalty. I get it. That's
So
fine.
I was just able to walk the floor and see some things. You know,
Frantic construction.
It's good to
a
be
little bit.
Yeah.
Right, a little bit of frantic construction.
The actual you guys are going to get a head start because the show floor doesn't actually open until noon Pacific. So we're starting, we're going to be getting this rolling an hour before the show even opens. So you'll get a head start on the viewing, which is pretty exciting. But because we are doing this stream here, we do get to get in outside of show hours, which is really, really cool. We like to abuse it, do a quick run around. And this right now is a time in which I guarantee you everyone in the show halls are freaking out.
Last minute
trying to find
separations.
all the last thing. They're tying something together, going, "Oh God, I hope this holds."
There's probably 300 missing Ethernet cables, one power that won't turn on, a TV that is showing only green.
So aside from people running around like chickens with their heads cut off, what'd you see down on the floor, Bernie?
I saw the Wolfenstein booth in particular is really cool because they built a diner there.
Oh,
on the
that's
floor.
cool.
Do they have strawberry milkshakes?
I saw a dude on a ladder in there just frantically fixing the ceiling, so I got out of his way as
God,
fast
how
as I
great
could.
would that be if they did?
Yeah.
That would be amazing. That was my
Wouldn't surprise me.
favorite trailer of E3. That was my favorite
it was
thing.
so weird, but really cool.
Did you guys want for a split second the new Wolfenstein game to be about a little girl and her whistle robot?
Yes,
just
I
for
did.
a moment.
I was really hoping. I was hoping it was going to be like the girl in Liesel who runs on Diesel.
Yeah.
I have to say that I really appreciate this is a gift that's been put out now for our new guest host, Anthony Carboni. They're very excited about your enthusiasm.
Oh, you're going to get a lot of those.
Yeah. So
You're
this
going to
is
get a
our
lot of those.
go-to reaction gift. And then also
when it's me and Mika on the couch, it'll just be a high-pitched squealing that only Liesel the robot dog can hear.
But Gus, you'll also be happy to know that the first part of the YouTube E3 hashtag, Jeff Keighley was also streaming today, and it was taken over because he had a special panelist on today. He had Rocco from Mega 64 on.
Oh.
So the audience was
Were
both
they
horrified
confused?
and incredibly annoyed.
Mesmerized?
Who was Rocco today?
I don't know. Apparently, he was very mad on the thing. I'll have to watch it later.
I love it. That sounds awesome.
Just keeping it real.
Rocco's. We had so the first E3 show we did with YouTube was 2 years ago, and we invited Rocco on. We basically just said take the stage for an hour, and he came on. What was his name? Andrew.
Yeah, it was Andrew from Project Wind Waker.
From Project Wind Waker, who was really into localization of Japanese games.
PP no people pun?
You remember this?
Yeah.
Good memory, dude. All I remember
I
was
had to
how
live this for an hour on stage.
all I remember is how confused everyone who wasn't us was. I was dying laughing in a corner, and no one.
Was this during the Project Rainfall stuff?
It might have been.
Okay.
Or it was
That's
inspired
so funny.
by potentially.
I love that.
And he brought video to show, but it was always the wrong video. He was getting very frustrated.
That's phenomenal.
If you don't know what you're getting with Rocco, yes, his appearance can be very confusing and or alarming. As long as you are pre-prepared for him, though, it's much more funny to watch.
No, it was great. It was really funny.
I hope our hashtag antics didn't anger Jeff Keighley, first of his name. Lord of video
first
games.
and last of his name, yes.
Yeah, Jeff Keighley's kicking off E3 Coliseum today, so he's going to have a bunch of really cool panels with developers talking about their art.
I love this because, this is the first year in quite a lot of years that E3 had public level passes, which is wonderful, and it's
Is
nice
it?
to see. Yeah. This was entirely press and business until this year.
I know.
Like he's asking, is it really wonderful?
Is it really? No, I do think it's wonderful because it's turning it. Things like E3 Coliseum are definitely much more community focused, and that's not stuff that you would have gotten at E3 a couple years ago.
But that's why they shut it down. It got out of control. Last year, I was on the floor of E3. You couldn't get to anything already,
and
then
now they're
there's
going to add 15,000 more
people here on top of that.
It's tricky, but I mean,
the only booth you could get to was the porn one in the back.
I genuinely believe
what.
It's probably in the back. Look for the smaller booths. It was a VR porn thing.
Gotcha. I'm on it.
Can't believe that's all the way in the back.
Actually, that one had a pretty big line.
VR porn is the vanguard.
There's a surprise.
There was a guy next to him that looked real sad, though. I don't even know what his booth was selling.
No, and it's not that I don't believe in there being press and business events, because obviously there need to be things like that. But I do believe that there was like a fan and community element that was missing at this show that I didn't really feel until a few years ago when things like PAX's started blowing up, when things like your convention started blowing up. And it's just like E3 realized that it's like, hey, we can talk directly to these people. Well, EA had public passes to EA Play as well, and it was wonderful.
It's an identity crisis. I think the show's trying to figure out what is it. You know, for many years it's been an industry event intended for people who work in the industry, and now we're starting to see that pivot to a consumer-facing event. So I think we need just maybe a little more clarity. Maybe we'll get that next year as to what direction the show's going in.
We are positioned well that with this change it doesn't really affect us that much because we're going to get to see a lot of the stuff. The developers are even going to come to us. The smaller news outlets are the ones that are really going to suffer from this because they don't have the swing to get there to cut the lines, and there's now a bunch of people in front of them.
Well, it's going to be super tricky for those fans too, and I think that is the thing that is, when you talk about like, is it great? The one negative thing that I see about it is smaller outlets, like you said, already had trouble getting onto demo units and being able to play the games that they wanted to play. Fans, I think it's going to be a very disappointing thing for the community when they get kicked off of an Uncharted demo unit because somebody from some outlet has an appointment, and that's something that people aren't.
Well, usually they're pretty good about doing that. They won't necessarily kick somebody off. They'll just reserve one and have that. It'll happen. But fans come to these sort of things knowing that they're going to stand in line all day to play one thing.
You can just watch this, which is perfect and wonderful, and like Ashley said, causes no additional foot pain.
Your foot pain, your existing foot pain, we
cannot do anything about your existing foot pain.
While you're in the line,
cannot
watch
say this enough.
All right, so we're going to be kicking our full day live stream off in about 30 minutes. So we're going to show you guys a couple of trailers in the lead up to that, and then we'll be back on in about a half hour. We'll do a whole official welcome and everything. We'll pretend like all of this never happened.
Oh, when's the runner arrive with the fire?
In 30 minutes.
Perfect.
Yo, we got bagels. We're good. We need nothing but bagels.
That's how we toast the bagels.
Yes.
We'll see you guys soon.